Hello, hello. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Habari za asubuhi. Wonderful. May I ask everybody in the back to come and take your seats? May I ask everybody in the back to come and take your seats? To everybody who is joining us online on Wananchi Digital, as well as Funguo's page on YouTube. Karibuni sana. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. Welcome to the FUNGUO INMBEJU call for funding under the theme Unlocking Startup Financing Through Strategic Partnerships. My name is Khalil Amboy and I will be your host for today. We're going to soon have our guest of honor in the room. He's about to walk in, and of course our guest of honor today is none other than Honorable Stanislaus Harunyonge, who's the Deputy Minister of State, President's Office. And then we're also going to have a few people join him, and I will introduce them as they come along. But as we wait for them to come into the stage, I have a few questions to just prep us for what we're going to be doing today. And as we're doing that, I'm going to ask again, for everybody who's outside, please let's get everybody back to their seats or onto their seats so that we can move swiftly. Jamani mabibi na mabwana, kwa jina naitwa Khalil Amboy. Now it gives me a great pleasure to host today's FUNGUO INMBEJU call. Kabla tujaanza, au tunavyoanza, ningependa kuuliza maswali mawili matatu. Is that okay? So as much as possible, today is going to be an interactive conversation. When you speak innovation, when you speak entrepreneurship, when you speak, development in the ways that we talk about it, it's an interesting and exciting time. It's an exciting conversation. So in rooms like this, we do not expect things to be boring. We don't expect things to be business as usual. We don't expect things to be the status quo. We expect things to be moving. So the first question I'm going to ask, how many innovators are in the room? I love that hand just went up. You're going to be the president. You in the back there. How many in this room are innovators? Hands up? All right, wonderful. Okay, nice. If I'm going to say a statement, if it's correct, you're going to put your hand up. If it's wrong, you're going to keep your hand down. Is that clear? I'm going to give a statement. If it's correct, you're going to put your hands up. If it's wrong, you're going to keep your hands down. All right, here's my statement. You ready? It is critical to use technology to innovate. Without technology, we cannot be innovative. Don't lie. Don't Google. All right, so all hands down. All hands down. No, not a single hand. I see one that's doing this. I don't understand. It's like their other hands are not going up, so I'm going to keep mine down. All right, so I'm going to ask another one. So I'm assuming that means that you can innovate without technology? Okay, that's great. That brings me to my second statement. My second statement is, technology is digital. Technology is synonymous to digital. Everything on the digital space, that is what we refer to as technology. We're confused? Maybe, maybe not. It's not? So then, let me give you, this is an actual question. There was an innovation, I do know that it happened in India, but I do know it happened in some parts in Tanzania as well, where to get water to a certain village, they innovated and found ways to use worn out tires from cars to create barrels that could literally roll up and down a hill. Is that innovation? Did he or she use technology? Yes? Yeah, we're not sure? It's not technology? Okay, so they used technology, hands up. All right, they did not use technology, hands up. Wow, see, that's great. So then, what I'm going to ask you to do as we're waiting for the minister to come in, can you just have a conversation with the person sitting next to you, and let's have a conversation about why or why not is it technology or not? It's like, why do we think it's technology, or why don't we think it's technology? Let's just have a quick conversation. And trust me, trust the process. This is leading somewhere. In what ways is that wheelbarrow to transport water not technology, and in what ways is it technology? Or we're thinking it's like it's too much for a morning. In what ways is it technology? What's the technological part about that? In that table, I do see there were a lot, there were conflicting opinions, which is great. So can we have a quick conversation about those? How is it technology? Or there were a few hands that said it was not innovative. It was not innovation. How was it not innovation? That just also brings us to this space where we realize the different schools of thought we have when we think about technology, innovation, and concepts in that area. Okay, and then I'm going to ask for a brave soul. Anybody would like to share? And then, of course, we do have our minister coming into the hall right now. We're going to come back to this. But at the very beginning, we have established that when we're thinking about innovation, when we're thinking about technology, when we're thinking about how to really create solutions for different things and how now we can use innovative processes in that space, we have different schools of thought about what that is. And it's perfectly fine because this is a space where we engage a dichotomy of thoughts, diverse thinking, and dynamic opinions, which is great. So once again, welcome to the FUNGUO INBEJU Call 2024. I'm going to ask you to turn to your neighbor and tell them welcome. And then you're going to ask them, why do you look so serious this morning? What is your issue? Did you not have breakfast? Have a conversation, right? And then, of course, I'm going to remind us that throughout today's conversation, a few things. One, the bathrooms. The bathrooms are going to be right outside the doors, this exit here. The second thing I'd like us to remember is for any photos, for anything that stands out to you and you put that online, hashtag FUNGUO INBEJU Call. Hashtag FUNGUO INBEJU Call. Let's make sure that everybody who is not here also gets to engage. I'd also like you to remember to put your phones on silent. Let's put your phones on silent mode so that we do not, in one way or the other, interfere what's going to be going on up here. But 3 or 4, I'd like to invite once again everybody who's joined us online, Mwananchi Digital, as well as FUNGUO YouTube page, Karibuni Sana. Make sure that you do engage. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, please do put them on the chat, and we're going to make sure that we engage with you. And if you're here and you have somebody that you feel has to be involved in the conversation, this really exciting conversation this morning, but rather this really exciting unveiling this morning, please make sure that you tell them to tune into either Mwananchi Digital on YouTube or, by the way, it's both on YouTube and Instagram. Mwananchi Digital on both YouTube and Instagram, or FUNGUO on YouTube. And then at the same time, let's get ready to engage. Today's conversation, today's call is all about innovation within, of course now, within the financing space. If we're talking about financing startups, this is whenever you go into any space in Tanzania and you talk to startups about the challenges that they're going through, fundraising, capital is one of the biggest ones. And today we're thinking about and we're talking about, but then not only talking about, we get to hear about steps that have been taken to move in the right direction to make sure that we're creating or innovating new fundraising mechanisms for startups. Jamani, let's just give FUNGUO and INBEJU a round of applause. Now, I like what you did, so that's not what we're going to do this morning. When we give a round of applause for things like this, we really go into it. So what you did there, that was primary school level. Let's try to get to university. Let's give INBEJU and FUNGUO a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Unajua kuna ile makofi ya kichoyo hapa Tanzania tufanye vitu vya aina hiyo. All right, we're going to be hearing throughout the event today, we're going to hear about what we're talking about. What is this conversation really about? What is this innovation really about? How does this mechanism actually work? What brought it about? But we're also going to get to hear from entrepreneurs, from startups who have participated in previous FUNGUO as well as INBEJU calls. We're going to hear about their stories, and we're going to hear about not just their own stories, but the transformation that's happening in communities simply because, not that they got funding, but simply because they had people who believed that they had the potential and the possibility to create the change that they thought they needed. And at the end of the day, isn't that what we all need? Somebody to literally say, I believe that you can do this. And not only say it, but put backing behind that. Ladies and gentlemen, may we please get up to our feet and give a round of applause to our guest of honor, Honorable Stanislaus Harun Nyongo, who is the Deputy Minister of State, President's Office, Planning and Investment. With him, we have Christine Grau. Let's keep clapping, Ambassador, European Delegation to Tanzania. With them, we have Muyeye Chambwera, Deputy Resident Representative, UNDP Tanzania. We also have with them Ms. Tuli Esther Mwampamba, Managing Director, CRDB Bank Foundation. And with them, we have Dr. Nkundwe Mwasaga, Director General, ICT Commission, as well as Richard Craig, Head of Economic Team, British High Commission. Let's take our seats, ladies and gentlemen. We are rolling a hand of applause. A hand of applause to the guests of honor and everybody represented here, as well as a hand of applause to yourselves as well. We're going to start very swiftly by hearing about what's brought us here. We're going to have opening remarks about the FUNGUO Innovation Programme, and we're also going to get to hear directly about iMBEJU, what it is, and about that program as well. I'd like to now bring to the stage with a hearty round of applause Mr. Joseph Manirakiza, the FUNGUO Innovation Program Manager, UNDP Tanzania, to speak to us a little bit about the FUNGUO program and shed some light about what actually has brought us here. A hand of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Makofi kwake tafadhali.
Good morning, everyone. Mheshimiwa Nyongo, Deputy Minister, President's Office, Planning and Investment, Madam Christine, Ambassador, European Union, Dr. Muyeye, Deputy Res Rep, my boss, ladies and gentlemen, protocol observed. Habari za asubuhi. Yeah, I've been told that I have only 2 minutes, so I'm going to speak within only 2 minutes. So I think for me it's basically to welcome you all and probably explain why we are here once again and probably what is different about today. So for those who have been engaging with us, today is basically the third time we are launching a call for funding. But to us, it's not just a call for funding as any other one, because FUNGUO program is not just about strategic funding. It's basically about providing means and linking Tanzanian startups to the world. So we provide strategic funding, we complement that with technical assistance, and we work with the wider innovation ecosystem to be able to support those startups to be able to scale and be able to unlock additional financing. So we basically do 3 things. It's strategic funding, which we call it innovation financing, but we also work with enterprise support organizations in the wider ecosystem. And at the same time, we work with the government ministries and agencies to contribute towards better business environment specifically for startups and innovators. So in a nutshell, most of the interventions we actually have fall within those 3 categories. And to date, Dr. Muyeye is going to elaborate more on what we have been able to achieve. We've launched 2 calls already. We funded over 43 startups, some of them that you have seen at the gallery, and they're actually making difference as we speak. So we are grateful for the support that we get from the European Union, the British High Commission, who are actually making us achieve what we do, and UNDP, because the program is within the wider UNDP Youth Catalyst portfolio, because we want to really impact the young people. Why is today different? So my colleagues are going to be talking through the call, but we have been in conversation for a while with some of the colleagues within the ecosystem, CRDB Bank Foundation included. And UNDP is already working with CRDB Bank Foundation for other initiatives, but we have been exploring on how we can be able to unite or put together efforts to basically grow the cake for the startup financing. So by kind of blending the kind of facilities we provide, we believe that we can actually reach out to many startups that can actually benefit from the strategic funding, but also can benefit from the soft loan facility that CRDB Foundation provides. So we'll be explaining more how it's going to work. Our colleague who are in charge of portfolio are going to talk about it. But basically, we're trying to see how we can work together as the ecosystem to make sure that we reach out to many young people who are trying to start business. Because as we say at FUNGUO, we believe that we can be able to fight some of the problems like unemployment, poverty, through enabling young people to create their own job opportunities. We know the job market is not that wide to cover everyone. Tanzania is a young country. So the only solution that we can have is basically to have them create their own job, their own opportunity, and we can do that through providing means like what we are doing. So I'm not going to take that long. I don't want to run the risk of being chased away from the space by Kalila, but I would like now to just give space to my colleague Tuli Mwambapa now to talk about the iMBEJU facility. Asanteni sana, so we are looking forward to engaging with you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Stanislaus Nyongo, Deputy Minister in the President's Office, Planning and Investment, Honorable Christine, Ambassador of the European Union in Tanzania, Dr. Muyeye Chamwela, Deputy Resident Representative of UNDP Tanzania, and protocol observed. I'll talk a little bit about the foundation itself and about our innovative program of iMBEJU. CRDB Bank Foundation was officially launched in March 2023 with a clear vision to promote inclusive growth for socioeconomic and financial inclusion through empowering youth and women. We are focused on financial literacy, financial inclusion, assisting youth and women to access to market, as well as fostering youth innovation in the country. Through our iMBEJU Buni program, we have partnered with two key government institutions, the Commission for Science and Technology and ICT Commission, ICTC, to support the growth of youth startups, aiming at advancing its fundamental mission of fostering inclusive economic growth and financial inclusion. We have designed to empower youth and women by providing them with soft loans that help them to scale their businesses, as well as provide them exposure outside the country for market as well as for investors. On our initial outreach, we yielded over 700 applicants from startup ventures nationwide, with 196 selected for intensive bootcamp training. We equipped them with essential training on entrepreneurship, knowledge to scale their businesses, whereby they were also able to find some partners to work with them. To date, we've invested more than 400 million to 8 startups, and some of these startups are Simply Tech Limited, Bluefin Solutions Limited, Timasu Product, Preo, and Frontier, and Sinto Petroleum Group, and Q Technologies. We are happy to collaborate with FUNGUO because we believe now we'll be able to reach a number of startups and enable them to grow and to scale, and as well as bring more new startups. So we at CRDB Bank, we are looking as well for other partners who have the same mission and shared interest in supporting the youth startups. With that, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mwambapa. Makofi kwa FUNGUO program pamoja na iMBEJU. If you are a startup in this room, if you're a startup that's joining us online, you know very clearly the impact that both programs have had to the Tanzanian startup ecosystem. So with a hearty congratulations as well as gratitude, let's just give them a hand of applause, because it's not been little work that has been done in this space. Ladies and gentlemen, and of course today we're going to hear more innovation in this space. So there's, wanasema yajayo nafurahisha. Sasa hapo ndo tuko kwenye yajayo. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into listening to or hearing opening remarks from none other than the Deputy Resident Representative for UNDP Tanzania. A hand of applause to Mr. Muyeye Chambwera. Makofi tafadhali.
Thank you, Director of Ceremonies. Let me start by recognizing the presence of the Honorable Minister, Stanislaus Harun Nyongo, Deputy Minister of State in the President's Office, Planning and Investment. Let me also recognize the presence of Ambassador Christine Grau, Ambassador of the European Union delegation to Tanzania, Dr. Ngundwe Masaga, Director General, ICT Commission, Ms. Tuli Mwambapa, Managing Director, CRDB Bank Foundation. We also recognize the presence of development partners present here today, the Tanzanian innovation ecosystem, stakeholders, innovators, entrepreneurs, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Habari za asubuhi. Let me start by making a confession on 2 points, that my Kiswahili is not great, but I am going to sprinkle 1 or 2 words of Kiswahili and make mistakes in the process and hope to learn along the way. And this is all in the spirit of, working together, learning from each other, as this occasion really espouses the spirit of partnership in learning and development. As the saying goes, if you want to go fast, you go alone, but if you want to go far, you go together. At UNDP, we believe in partnerships, and it is also in the spirit of goal number 17, the goal of partnership of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. This is why we have decided to join hands with our friends at CRDB Bank Foundation to go far in catalyzing the Tanzanian innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem to impactfully contribute to a more vibrant, innovation-driven and inclusive economy. It is therefore my great pleasure to welcome you all to this launch of the 3rd FUNGUO call for funding applications, whose design is based on and also whose success depends on partnerships among players who have a common agenda towards the sustainable development of Tanzania, and who especially believe that the country has what it takes to develop the solutions that Tanzania needs. Today is a momentous occasion as we continue to advance our mission of empowering youth-led startups and driving sustainable development in Tanzania through this endeavor. Honorable Deputy Minister, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, at UNDP, we are steadfast in our commitment to unlocking the potential of young people. Supporting their entrepreneurial ventures is not just a goal. It is a fundamental part of our mission to advance economic growth and innovation. Our partnership with CRDB Bank Foundation through their iMBEJU program stands as a shining example of this commitment. Together, we are creating a powerful synergy that blends diverse sources of funding, hence heralding in a new dawn in the startup financing landscape in Tanzania. This collaboration is designed to transform the startup landscape in Tanzania by providing essential financial and technical and developmental support. Since its inception, FUNGUO, the Innovation Programme, has made a substantial impact. To date, FUNGUO has invested Tanzanian shillings 3.8 billion in 43 innovative ventures. This investment has been instrumental in creating and sustaining over 4,000 direct and indirect jobs for Tanzanian young people. Our mission has always been to increase the number of successfully scaled ventures that contribute to Tanzania's sustainable development goals. Allow me to cite a few examples. We are proud of the Atif Aquaponics, a fast-growing, climate-smart agriculture startup in Zanzibar that we supported from its infancy and now has unlocked an additional financing and expanded to 2 brand new farms. In Mwanza, Soma Bags, a social enterprise transforming used and discarded cement bags and fitting them with mini solar panels and light bulbs to make school bags and reading lights for kids in the rural areas, has expanded and equipped their factory, creating 85 jobs, 51% of which are held by young women. In Moshi, Plant Biodefenders, a typical successful case of research commercialization, is a woman-founded startup that manufactures an innovative patented biopesticide known in the market by its brand name, Vuruga Biocide. The company has leveraged a FUNGUO catalytic grant to unlock additional financing and set up a fully fledged laboratory and manufacturing plant and is already serving organic cotton farmers in the western zone of Tanzania. With this CSCO, we are continuing this mission with renewed vigor. It is meant to provide the much needed catalytic funding to Tanzanian impact-driven startups to enable them to refine their business models and become attractive to investors. Joining hands with CRDB Bank Foundation enables us to reach more innovative entrepreneurs with a mix of financial instruments, therefore scaling up this effort. This year's focus includes a deliberate effort to empower female startup founders. We have reserved at least 40% of the available funding for women-owned and women-led businesses. This is an increase from last year's 30% and underscores our commitment to gender inclusivity and supporting women leadership in innovation and in business. Colleagues, our partnership with CRDB Bank Foundation, along with the support of other funders, is crucial in achieving these goals. The integration of financial support with capacity building initiatives, including technical assistance, mentorship, and networking opportunities, will equip entrepreneurs with the tools they need to overcome challenges and take their ventures to scale. This holistic approach is essential for creating a robust and sustainable entrepreneurial ecosystem. We extend our heartfelt gratitude and thanks to all our partners for their substantial support. Your commitment to this initiative is vital in driving forward our shared vision of a vibrant and innovative startup ecosystem in Tanzania. Special regards go to the European Union, who are the main funders of the FUNGUO program, and without whom none of this would have been possible. We also thank the UK government for their crucial contribution to making the FUNGUO program more than just a grant-making scheme by expanding the offering and impact to the wider Tanzanian innovation ecosystem. We appreciate the cordial working relationship that we enjoy with the various government ministries and agencies in Tanzania, and we hope the Honorable Deputy Minister here will convey our appreciation. We also welcome new partners to join us in this transformative journey as we together achieve remarkable progress. As we open the application window today, I encourage all eligible startups and innovative SMEs, founders, to seize these opportunities and prepare and submit their winning applications within the allocated time. We expect to see innovative, financially viable, and potentially scalable businesses that do no harm to people and the environment. This is your opportunity. Leverage the resources and support available to scale your ventures, your impact-driven ventures, and contribute to the sustainable development of Tanzania. Thank you all for being here and for your continued dedication to empowering Tanzanian entrepreneurs. Let us move forward together in unlocking new potentials and shaping a brighter future for our youth and for this nation. Asanteni sana.
Ladies and gentlemen, another hand of applause, the Deputy Resident Representative. He said several great things, but the takeaway for a young person like me is the fact that we're quite 5 years and a few months away from 2030. Our collective goals towards the SDGs, accomplishment of the SDGs, and one of the things that it calls for is partnerships. And we're here to celebrate not only talk of partnerships, but we're here to celebrate a pioneering of what partnerships can look like in financing or in giving catalytic support to entrepreneurs, to innovators, to change makers, to actually now create, multiply or a domino effect in their communities. I'd like to bring our attention to these papers on your tables. There are papers, there's a paper like this on each table, and you have a QR code on it. Now, when you scan this QR code, a few things, you can also scan directly on the screen. For those who are not sure what scanning looks like, what you'll do is you will simply go to the camera application on your phone, just open the camera and hover the camera onto the paper, so make sure that you see the QR code and a link should appear. What you do then is you can click that link, it will take you to a website. There are a few things you will find on that website, including the agenda as well as more information about what this event entails. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like us to prepare to also share. There's information there that you can also share to people who are not here. To everybody who is online, we will make that information available to you. Just as a reminder, we are streaming live on Mwananchi Digital as well as Funguo's pages on YouTube, and of course Mwananchi Digital on Instagram as well. So for any of you who have entrepreneurs or young people you feel must get involved in this conversation, please do make sure to let them know. Tuko mbashara Mwananchi Digital, Instagram pamoja na YouTube, pamoja na kurasa za Funguo. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, I'd like us to welcome to the stage for a keynote address, Ms. Christine Grau, who is the ambassador for the European Union delegation here in Tanzania. A hand of applause to Ms. Grau.
Good morning to everybody. First of all, Honorable Stanislaus Harun Nyongo, Deputy Minister of State in the President's Office of Planning and Investment. It's a pleasure to meet you today. Dr. Nkunde Mwazaga, the Director General of the ICT Commission. Dear Tuli Esther Mwampava, Managing Director, CRDB Bank Foundation. Nice to meet you today as well as for the first time, Yene Chambera, UNDP Deputy Resident Representative, and of course, dear Richard Craig from the British High Commission. All senior government officials present, representative of the financial institutions, fellow development partners, and then of course, the center here today, the innovators, startups, entrepreneurs, also media representatives, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased to be here with you today again for the third call of FUNGO for applications. Karibu as well to the many listeners online. Last year, in November, I already met some of you when we awarded the nominees under the second call for funding. And I have to say, I was very pleased now. The UNDP Deputy Representative presented some examples, but also to see in the back of the room today some of the very, very successful examples that we have awarded already in the previous calls. It's really nice to see how these startups are continuing to perform. I'm looking forward also today to listen to some of you later and hear how your businesses have been doing. It will be interesting to see whether the funding received actually accelerated your business and how the everyday challenges of running a successful business has gotten to you. And for today's call, I appreciate that FUNGO has found a strategic long-term partner for launching funding opportunities for innovative startup and small and medium-sized enterprises. Thank you so much, CRDB Bank Foundation, for being here and for supporting these calls. As you're very much aware, as development partners, we can kickstart a process and we can provide grants to promising, upcoming, and innovative businesses. But in the long run, these funding opportunities need to mature into repayable grants for viable business to grow sustainable. So please take advantage of this opportunity which is coming to you. In 2023, Tanzanian startups attracted $25 million in external funding, which is actually very little compared to other countries. But on the other side, startups also raised complementary domestic investment up to $23 million, reflecting the increasing trend of alternative funding sources. And we, as European Union, we support this trend, and we are looking for new alternative financing instruments to facilitate access to finance that the challenges that many businesses are actually facing. We are, for example, currently looking into the option of developing a sovereign public venture capital fund jointly with the government. And we also try to bring a private venture capital fund to Tanzania. I also hope that in the coming months, you will be able to see an additional capital coming in through green bonds, which will provide financial entities and the government with the opportunity to raise additional capital to invest in green impact programs. And I've seen that there's quite some interest in the country, also on the previous projects that we have already seen. Now, looking at the different challenges that you face today, I welcome also here the various enterprise support organizations that are present. You are very crucial for startups. Human resources, marketing, distribution are some examples of daily questions that you deal with. The startups often need to be flexible and adaptive, and the support of these organizations to support the need to adapt is highly crucial. But we also see that the ecosystem for startups is becoming more vibrant, which is excellent news. With our support to FUNGO and other complementary programs, we hope to be further contributing to the development of the ecosystem. Please rest assured that the European Union will support the private sector and address any challenges that hinder them to contribute to the prosperity of Tanzania. This remains a key priority for us, not only in the FUNGUO program, but also in many other programs where we support the private sector specifically. Hongera na sansendi sana.
Asante sana. We keep hearing about the great work that has been done over the past few years to really lift up and catalyze growth within Tanzania's startup ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, once more, I'd like to remind you that not only are we launching the FUNGUO INBEJU call today, but today is FUNGUO program's third call, and it's also INBEJU's second call. So this joint call is very innovative and structured to be very different in how different calls have been. And you'll get to hear a little bit more about that. I just want to make a note that considering today we're doing things a little bit different, our hashtag is also upgraded. So whatever you're putting on your different pages online, remember to let people know that today we're upgraded. The startup ecosystem is upgraded. Mgeni rasmi, mgeni mheshimiwa. Baada ya hayo, after that, I'd like to now welcome you to the stage so that we can get to hear from you. Ladies and gentlemen, a hand of applause to our guest of honor, Honorable Stanislaus Harun Nyongo, Deputy Minister of State, President's Office, Planning and Investment. Karibu sana baba.
Good morning, everybody. Ambassador Christine Gwao, Ambassador of European Union to Tanzania, Dr. Muyeye Chambwela, the Deputy Residence Representative, UNDP Tanzania, Richard Gregg, Head of Economy Unit, British High Commission, Ms. Tuli Mwambapa, Managing Director, CRDB Bank Foundation, distinguished guests, entrepreneurs, innovators, members of place, ladies and gentlemen, Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. It is a privilege to stand before you today at the launch of this groundbreaking initiative, the FUNGUO Call for Funding Applications, in partnership with the iMBEJU, represent a significant advancement in our efforts to nurture innovation in Tanzania. This collaboration has the power to transform our nation and drive sustainable progress. Allow me to express our deep gratitude to our long-standing partners, the European Union and British government, for their unwavering support of Tanzania's development. We also immensely grateful to UNDP and the CRDB Bank Foundation for joining us in this important endeavor to empower our youth-led innovative startups. Your continued partnership is a testament to power of collaboration and is a vital to Tanzania's economic growth and sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, today we celebrate a milestone in our journey to empower Tanzanian startups and innovative SMEs, the FUNGUO Innovation Programme, which I've been told here has already supported 43 ventures and created over 4,000 jobs, is a testament to our commitment to building a future where innovation is the driving force of our economy. This initiative is fully aligned in our national vision and the third Nation 5 Years Development Plan, which prioritizes industrialization, job creation, and poverty eradication. The partnership we are witnessed today before UNDP's FUNGUO Innovation Programme and the CRDB Bank Foundation, iMBEJU's program, exemplifies how we can work together to achieve more rapid economic progress. Our youth are the future of Tanzania, and they are full of innovative ideas and ambitions. By providing them with access to catalytic funding, technical support, and the mentorship, we are empowering our young people to build successful business. This is essential for developing a vibrant private sector that can create jobs and drive economic diversification. What makes this initiative truly exceptional is its synergetic approach. By combining non-funding grants from the European Union with soft loans from CRDB Bank Foundation, we are providing our startups with a strong foundation for growth. I argue other ecosystem players, including other banks, angel investors, and the corporate foundations to join us in this effort and expand financing and support opportunities for young entrepreneurs. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude by reaffirming that the government of Tanzania, under the leadership of Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, the 6th President of the United Republic of Tanzania, remains steadfast in its commitment to fostering and enabling environment for business, especially startups and early-stage businesses. We once again appreciate the support of European Union through the Beginning Program to continue driving legal and regulatory reform to make the business environment even more conducive. Together, let us continue to build Tanzania that not only competes but leads in the innovation space, ensuring a prosperous future for our people of Tanzania. Baada ya kusema hayo, na washukuruni sana, asanteni sana kwa kunisikiliza.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now about to launch the joint call for funding between FUNGUO Program, UNDP's FUNGUO Program, and CRDB Foundation's iMBEJU Program. And to launch.
3,816,555,000 Tanzanian shillings. The journey began with cohort 1 in 2022 and cohort 2 in 2023. Businesses that believed in the power of innovation. Businesses that dared to dream big. 43 startups, over 4,000 jobs created. Every innovation, every job, a new chapter written for Tanzania's future. But that was just the beginning. All this has been made possible through the support of our partners, the European Union, the UK government, UNDP, working hand in hand with the government of Tanzania. We believe in empowering Tanzania's startups to not just thrive, but to create jobs and transform lives. Today, UNDP and CRDB Bank Foundation, through their respective revolutionary initiatives, the EU-backed FUNGUO and iMBEJU are teaming up to change the trajectory of startup financing in Tanzania. This strategic collaboration aims to expand the offering, creating powerful synergy to unlock the power of Tanzanian youth-led startups and create lasting impact in our communities. This is more than just financing. It's about building a sustainable ecosystem for the next generation of Tanzanian impact-driven, innovative businesses.
Ladies and gentlemen, and the program is launched. Let's do that countdown together. We're going to count down from 10. Is that okay? Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, the joint call between FUNGUO's UNDP program and CRDB Bank's iMBEJU program have now officially been launched. Tutapata picha mbili tatu hapo za kibabe kabisa, alafu kabla hatujaendelea. Mabibi na mabwana, that means for everybody who is online, you can now directly get information about how to apply to these programs that have been launched together. Wonderful, yes. So what's the number? Just one step to the left, if that's okay. Wonderful, yes, to the left. Okay, thank you. Okay, may I ask for one last adjustment? May I ask you, sir, to move to this side? So Ms. Brown, may you please stand right here? Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we have officially launched the joint call for FUNGUO's program as well as iMBEJU. We're going to take a few final round of photos. This is a very, very important moment, ladies and gentlemen, very important moment. We have to get it right. And this is what we're doing. All right, Yamwisha too. Let's look at the cameras. And what we're going to say, Yamani, tutasema kwa pamoja. FUNGUO iMBEJU call. 1, 2, 3. Wonderful. Asanteni sana, asante sana. Makofi mabibi na mabwana, a hand of applause as the guest of honor comes off stage. Karibuni, mnaweza mkachukua viti vyenu. Please do take your seats. Let's give them a hand of applause as they get down on the stage. Asanteni sana, asanteni sana, asanteni sana. So we are ready. We are ready for everybody again who is not here and who is online. Let's remember to let them know that we have launched the joint call. That means from today on, anybody can now apply to both programs that have been launched. There is information. I have let you know that there's a paper on your table. The paper on your table has a QR code. You can scan that QR code. And the first link when you get into that website, and this is the link as well, the first tab there is information about the call. So if you have, questions even right now, you can directly go into that link and get more information about the call. Ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to hear a little bit, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you have questions. What does this mean? Is this one? Has the funding been shrinked into one? Have they now become one program? What is going on here? And to make sure that we all live here completely clear about what this upgraded approach looks like, I'm going to bring to the stage two incredible people, one from FUNGUO and one from iMBEJU, to take us through what the program looks like. And this is an information session. What exactly you need to know about this call for funding. So if you've got a notebook, this is where you take those notes. And to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring FUNGUO Investment and Portfolio Lead. FUNGUO's Investment and Portfolio Lead at the UNCDF, Mr. Mbwaike Mayenga. Mr. Mbwaike Mayenga, makofi kwake tafadhali. Hello, yes. We're also going to bring to the stage Ms. Sharon Sule. Makofi kwake tafadhali. Manager for Startups Development and Incubation from CRDB Bank Foundation. And considering this is a joint call, they shall be running this info session pamoja. Hivi mnaona kuna gender equality hapa eh?
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Now the call has been launched. I think it's important for all of us to get the information about the call, what it's all about. Let's talk about how CRDB, how FUNGUO will collaborate, how the call will be run, the period, do's and don'ts, what should startups and innovators expect. Kalina? Thank you. So maybe to give an overview, as for a period as we've been thinking on how we can best bring other partners and other funders to fund the innovation ecosystem based on what FUNGUO has been doing for the past 3 years. So this time around we thought it was important for us to try to reach out to partners with the similar programs. We reach out to iMBEJU, then also we collaborate with other angel investors network, and this is just a pilot that we're going to run this year. Based on the success of this year's call, then very possible we should be able to do more together. I think technology, well, right, so our presentation is getting ready. Please allow us for 2 minutes for them to have the technology working for us and be able to run it.
Hello. Mr. Mbwaike and Ms. Nshule, as we're getting the presentation ready, perhaps a really quick question for you. What makes this, direction really necessary? What makes this direction really necessary, and why do we feel, as we're even going into the purpose of the call, I believe that's what you're going to talk to us about, because I think that's what the question that a lot of people have. Why did we move into this direction? Karibuni sana.
Thank you, Kalila. So, as Kalila asked, why this is necessary, as I said, it's important for us to bring all the resources together, to have a united application platform so that it's easy for the funders to have a better visibility of what's startups out there, what's other innovations out there, and it's also to be coordinated to have a pipeline of support such that a grant can go in first to do some de-risking, then followed by a commercial product, but with a bit soft terms, such as a loan to help this company scale, and maybe some of them that have done well, then the angel investors, the VCs, the private equity firms, they can take it up from there. So that's why we are doing this. So to start again, before we deep dive, I would like to welcome my colleague Sharon to tell us what the call is all purpose about. Karibu sana, Sharon.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here today. As Mbwaike has initially introduced, you're most welcome to a place where we're going to set the trajectory for the startup ecosystem in Tanzania. We're going to introduce a blended financing model, and this is our partnership between CRDB Bank Foundation and UNDP through their respective programs, FUNGUO and iMBEJU. For the purpose of the call, why we decided to come together. FUNGUO and iMBEJU are both championing and supporting startups in the innovation ecosystem in Tanzania. And why we decided to join efforts, come together and support startups, it's because first, we want to facilitate diverse access to funding options. Why? It's because we're all targeting startups in the ecosystem. Various startups are coming up these days with brilliant ideas. Instead of having multiple programs, multiple calls for funding, why don't we blend into one call so that we can all, the startups can get to benefit from both organizations through one call. So what does this mean? We have access to, the startups who have access to equity-free catalytic grants from FUNGUO, that is 50 to 100 million Tanzanian shillings, but also access to iMBEJU soft loans for scalable businesses, that is starting from 30 million Tanzanian shillings, and also the potential for having equity investments from angel investors in Tanzania. And as well as we want to address the funding gap, like I mentioned before. There's been a lot of innovative startups coming up in our Tanzanian ecosystem. So for us to address the gap, we want to combine the grant model and our iMBEJU revolving grant soft loan model so that the startups can get access to bigger and much beneficial funding options for them to grow their businesses. Why? It's because we want to support the growth of Tanzanian startups in the ecosystem, and we also want to focus on impact-driven businesses so that they can grow and improve our communities. Lastly, we want to empower women entrepreneurs. Like last year, we targeted 30% to empower women entrepreneurs through the call. So this year, we've increased to 40%. The call is targeting empowering women entrepreneurs who are doing innovative businesses in the startup ecosystem. Now, that being said, Mboike, why don't you take us through the funding details and what this call entails? Thank you.
Thank you. So, as Sharon provided purpose, when you talk about the funding details, what are we looking at this year? So right now we're looking at the limit between 50 and 100 million for catalytic grants. And with that support, it means for companies that have the capacity, have a clear borrowing need and ability to pay, could have the potential to access a soft loan from CRDB that ranges from 30 million shillings and above. So that one does not have a cap. So CRDB can do to 100 to 100 million, depending on the capacity, borrowing causes, and the ability to pay. Again, we're going to focus on businesses that they advance the SDGs in Tanzania and globally, but also, apart from that, as we keep saying, FUNGUO iMBEJU is beyond funding. With this program, we are going to provide other supports when technical assistance that we are able to link these successful companies to the right and relevant technical assistance they need, be it finance, be it go-to-market, be it communication visibility. We are able to partner them with the right skills that are out there in the market. Apart from that, we provide one-on-one mentorship with the companies, and most of all is the linkage to relevant networks. FUNGUO and iMBEJU are not enough to be able to fund these companies end-to-end. So part of what we do best is we link with relevant funders that have much bigger capital, they have a much bigger scope for these companies once they graduate from the impact funding to go to commercial funding. Now, Sharon, with this said, so tell us who can apply the fund.
Thank you, Mboike. I'm sure a lot of you are asking yourselves in the room, who is eligible for this funding? So we are targeting entrepreneurs or businesses that are for profit, not non-for-profit, but for profit, and they're market-oriented, yeah? And we want to support legally registered businesses in Tanzania that are aiming to grow their ventures. And majority should be Tanzanians. Like I said before, majority owned should be Tanzanians, by the majority shareholder being at least 51%. And beyond the ideation stage. So this call is targeting beyond ideation stage. We are not accepting ideas, but we're accepting businesses that are already in the market, that have traction, proven records for traction, and at least they have a product that is in the market and has already generated users. Now, Boyke, take us through what are the specific criteria that one will be required to have met so that they can be able to receive the funding.
Thank you again, Sharon. So on the criteria, we try to find out how will these companies be reviewed, what will make one successful to get a FUNGUO or an iMBEJU grant. First of all is innovation. Both FUNGUO and iMBEJU, they focus on innovation. They're both innovative programs. So we thought a company has to be innovative with a product or unique selling point beyond ideation, post-revenue, post-MVP. And for that purpose, that's why innovation has been provided the largest chunk of the score, which is 35% of the score that will be tagged. For that purpose, then, innovation, the company applying has to be innovative. Then, what we're looking at, business and viability. Being innovative, it's not enough. We're looking at the business case in terms of viability and scalability. Can this innovation grow? Can it be viable? Can it be commercially deployed? So we believe if being innovative only without that, then your business cannot grow. You cannot provide the impact that UNDP, EU, FCDO, Government of Tanzania, CRDB, they're all looking at. So business viability and scalability is also a second evaluation criteria, which we have graded 30%. Apart from that, team and management. Throughout these calls, what we noticed that companies with very good founders, very good team, and very good management, they tend to scale and grow much faster than others. So for us, team and management is very important. We even got this feedback when we were talking with Angel Investors Network. They focus more on the person behind the business, then the business comes later. So team and management is going to be evaluated. We'll be looking at do the founders have the right background? Do they have the right skill set? Do they have support services like an advisory board or a management board or a mentor? With all those things will make one successful. And lastly, we are looking at impact. How will this company provide impact? How are they measuring them? Is that impact relevant? Do they do harm to environment? So we are looking for companies that provide positive impact, both socially, economically, and above around all SDGs. But one key important, they should not do harm. Now, with that said, one will be interested to know the timelines. For how long will this call be run, and what are the key timelines that we are looking at? So looking at the timelines, we have just launched the call today, the past 5 minutes. So now the call it's live. So starting today, on 10th of September, we'll run the info session for a period of 1 month. During that time, we encourage people to apply. We'll be answering a lot of questions about the call. We'll help people to navigate the application system. We'll also do both virtual info sessions and physical info session. We're targeting the whole of Tanzania. Our objective is to expand a number of regions that iMBEJU and FUNGUO has reached now. So we have to be more inclusive. So that will be done for the period of 1 month. Then after that, a group of selected technical experts, both from the public sector, from private sector, within the development partners, we are going to assemble a team to review these calls. That will be done for a period of 1 month. During that time, we'll look at how do these companies comply with the eligibility criteria. We're going to look at the 4 evaluation criteria, how are they best fit. We'll have to be it as more neutral and get a very good cohort. Apart from that, we're going to conduct physical due diligence, where we'll visit the place of work, we'll interrogate the business model, we'll look at the products. Not only that, we'll also have an interview with the founders to get to give them more chance to explain beyond what they presented in the application. Now, When are we expecting to provide, to announce the winners? 22nd of November is the target date. We expect by the time we're announcing the winners, then we'll also be able to disburse within the same period. So for all people out there, this is the expected timeline of the iMBEJU FUNGUO call. And with that, would encourage everybody to apply.
Thank you, everyone. As Boyke has mentioned, the call has officially been opened, and we have a month. The call is running for a month, so I would encourage all startups, innovative startups, businesses in Tanzania to join the call. The time is now. Please scan the link, scan the QR code in front of you so that you may be taken to the link for application. Thank you very much.
Yeah, just to also notify, the link will be available in the FUNGUO website, will also be available in the CRDB Foundation website. So these two websites will be of most importance to all startup and innovators out there for the next 3 months. The link also provides a platform to do Q&A, to do the info session registration. So we encourage you to scan for you to be able to register for future info sessions and also to be assisted in application. Thank you very much.
And one more thing, there are also papers on your tables, that QR codes, they're also on your tables for you to scan it. So even after the screen is off, you may follow us for more information, but also the papers are available. Thank you very much for listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, and there you have it. We have launched the official call for funding 2024, joint call FUNGUO iMBEJU. Now we're getting ready to do something quite interesting and quite exciting. We're getting ready to do something quite interesting and quite exciting. Like I said from the very beginning, somebody might be wondering, what is this going to do for me? You know, perhaps I have seen these programs and I'm not convinced. What we're going to do, we're going to bring to the stage 6 beneficiaries of both the FUNGUO and iMBEJU program on stage. Not only are they going to share their story, but they're going to share the impact that came from these programs. Not just for their businesses, but for the communities around them. Because basically what these programs have done, it has taken change makers and transformed them into transformational leaders in their communities. We're going to start with Mrs. Zena Msonde, who is the co-founder of Hashtag. We will get to hear from Nancy Iramba, co-founder of Healthy Seaweed. We will then get to hear from Rashid, who is the co-founder of Atif Aquaponics. We will then hear from Caroline Clement, who is the co-founder from SimplyTech Limited. We will get to hear from Mr. Dietrich Nchami, co-founder Bluefin Solutions Limited. We will finally get to hear from Mr. Tiberius Mario, founder Timasu Products Company. Ladies and gentlemen, they're going to be sweet and short in their presentations. I'm going to ask you to give these founders a collective round of applause before they come on stage. Because one of the things that we know about founders and entrepreneurs, they might be very good at innovating, but coming on stage before you and speaking in front of investors, but coming here is a different ball game altogether, but they are ready. To everybody who is online joining us from Mwananchi Digital, as well as FUNGUO's YouTube pages, and of course Mwananchi Digital's Instagram page, again, I remind you, make sure that you engage. If you have any questions about the joint call, if you have any questions to the entrepreneurs themselves, please put it in the chat, and we will make sure that we keep engaging with you as well. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, makofi kwake Zena Msonde, co-founder Hashtag. Makofi hajashiba ya kutosha. Yes, wonderful. Karibu sana. Investee FUNGUO program.
Hi everyone, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Zena Sonde. I'm the co-founder.
Zena, 1 second. We had music playing in your background, and of course music ilikuwa muziki ulikuwa unakusindikiza, lakini imebidi tuuzime, and let me also change your mic so those online get to hear you clearly. Once again, Zena.
Hi everyone. My name is Zena Msonde. I'm the co-founder of #Tanzania Limited. Today, I want to share my personal story. In 2009, I lost our father on a fatal road accident. The sudden loss did not only cause an emotional distress, but also it has exposed us to an insurance issues and financial difficulty within our family. The experience led to spark in us to notice and identify the gap or the challenges that are within the traditional system that could really negatively impacted people's life. Through the experience, we were inspired to create a solution. A solution that has improved the traditional system of transportation, the collection of data, and the insurance stakeholders to be part and parcel on our logistics and transportation industry. Thus, My Safari was born. My Safari is an electronic ticketing platform that enables bus operators, government stakeholders, and passengers to book, to verify, and seamless store the data that can be used meaningful for both stakeholders to form informed decision. Through the challenge that we went through, we realized the gap that are within the transportation industry. And that's where we designed the platform that could really impact and uplift people's life. Through FUNGUO, we have improved our solution by creating a fund management system that has enabled us to collect our revenue from 12% to 84% of sales. FUNGUO Catalytic Fund has unlocked a strategic partnership with our insurance company that has provided us with trip insurance for the passengers that are using our digital channels to buy their tickets. Throughout the program, we have managed to provide a decent job for over 1,000 agents, ticketing agents across Tanzania. our business has significantly grown for over 70%. I would like to say a big thank to FUNGUO for providing us with a catalytic fund, for believing in us and supporting our vision. And I would really love to encourage other startups who are out there, other innovators. I would like to tell them, FUNGUO program, empowering innovators just like us, and for any startup, any investor, any innovator who are out there, please apply for FUNGUO. Take this leap and apply for FUNGUO. This should be you on the next.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zena Msonde. Asante sana, makofi kwake tena na tena. Zena, where you and your partner managed to turn the story of tragedy into an incredible innovation that has, of course, created impactful solutions for several Tanzanians, not only from logistics, but you're also looking at insurance and healthcare also. And of course, we do know that your vision is largely to touch the region, the East African region. Makofi kwao tena, my safari. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go swiftly and hear from the next innovator. The next innovator is Mr. Rashid from Atif Aquaponics, all the way from Zanzibar. Makofi kwake tafadhali. Mr. Rashid, karibu sana.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. As Khalila said, my name is Rashid, Managing Director of Atif Aquaponics from Zanzibar. So, my story is a bit different from a typical entrepreneurial journey. It started when I returned to Zanzibar from my studies in the UK, through chevening program, by the way. I was one of the chevening awardees. Obviously, you come from the UK, you have a certificate, master's certificate from the UK, you think, you know what, I'll get a job very fast. Boy, was I wrong. From there, then I realized, after a month of trying, I've tried for quite a while, and then I realized that I have to do something. I had a family, they were depending on me, and I couldn't wait for the opportunities to come knocking. Through that time, when I was trying, I realized that there was a skill I learned when I was in the UK, and that was hydroponics and aquaponic farming. Also, before I left, I had an experience of about 3 years working in the tourism industry. So I did put two and two together. I knew there was a demand for horticulture crops in Zanzibar, especially in Zanzibar, in an industry where 80% of horticulture crops in Zanzibar are being imported, that are being used in the tourism industry, and over 60% that are consumed through the general population are also being imported from Tanzania mainland and other areas across the region. From here, wow, look very fat. That was in 2018, that's where the idea of Atif Aquaponics was born. So we started with a very small system, this one. We typically had like 200 heads of lettuce we were growing every month. And we grew steadily, and we grew from 200 up to 1,200 a month. Then we went to COVID. And I think everybody know how devastating that was, especially in the tourism industry. We almost went bankrupt. And mind you, by this time, I had no idea who or what SDGs were. For me, this was typically purely profit-oriented. I had no idea what I was doing. But through networking with friends, and then they told me what I was doing, what I was addressing at the time, and then they told me that I could use my solution to address certain challenges which were aligned with SDGs. And then from there on, I started going to banks, I went to investors, I went to other programs to apply for funding, and nobody budged. Everybody thought we were crazy to try to do something like this. It was a very unique idea. Nobody understood what we were saying. I remember like people were saying, you know what, you are trying Muzungu's solution in the Swahili's problem. There's no way you will be successful. But through networking, through friends, that's when we heard of FUNGUO. I remember meeting Joe before the FUNGUO was starting by then. And they saw the vision. We had a vision. Everybody did not see that. They saw the vision, they saw the potential, and that's when we got our first round of funding from FUNGUO. And thankfully, things started changing from there. From there on, we started with 12, like I said, like with 200 to 1,200. Now our production capacity is 8,000 veggies and 4 tons of fruits per month. That's how much we are making. We operate the largest hydroponic farm in Tanzania and possibly East Africa, and we are still trying to grow. As we go on, our vision is not just in Zanzibar. We want to go regional, and not just regional, with African Continental Trade Agreement as well. We think of going through the continental market as well. Part of our mission is to become the largest producer and distributor of horticulture crops in the region and in Africa. Also, becoming one of the largest formal employers in the agriculture sector, because we know most of the agriculture sector employment is informal, so we are going the other way as well. And obviously right now, those who did not give their time, they want to collaborate with us, and we're thankful for that. But we are more thankful with FUNGUO, because what others are seeing as a success, they saw the vision. They saw us even before we saw ourselves. So I want to give thanks to FUNGUO, and hope more and more people will be applying, and more startups will be able to become much bigger than they are right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rashid Atif, Aquaponics. Hongera sana. A story of transformation, and one of the things I love that you talked about is, on one hand, you went to oil and gas was what you went to study, believing that there is great opportunity in Tanzania, and then what you thought was, okay, so for sure, now I'm going to be employable. Nobody's going to be able to turn me down, because, of course, these are the sectors that we're told we have to be in currently. And then you came back home and realized the situation on ground is different. And so from your story, you took about 8 months to try to figure out things to try to get employment. It didn't work. And you remembered and you realized that, oh, there's actually opportunity in Zanzibar, because there is food insecurity in the horticulture space. And that's how Atif Aquaponics was born. And of course, you have talked about FUNGUO and how it has helped you scale and enhance your operations, and the vision of, supplying and using the FCFTA to really be able to access markets even outside of Zanzibar into Tanzania mainland, and of course, across East Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the definition of catalytic funding. It helps you see the opportunities that you perhaps, because of lack at some point, could not see. But another thing I love that you said is those people who did not see the promise or the potential in the beginning, because they could not see the potential because it was not clear, but because of the program and what it empowered you guys to do, you were able to now show them that this is what we were talking about, and right now they keep calling. I hope you answer their calls and you don't tell them I told you so. Kwamba si umekata? Unanitafuta sasa. But then congratulations, Rashid, to you and your entire team. That was Rashid and Mzena Msonde. Hand of applause to them. We're going to quickly transition to the next entrepreneur. We're going to get to hear from a fierce young woman, Miss Nancy Iramba, co-founder, Healthy Seaweed. Makofi kwake tena tafadhali.
Good morning, everyone. So I just want to ask a question. Whom amongst you has ever been in the deeper parts of the ocean? Okay. So my name is Nancy Iramba. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Healthy Seaweed Company, and I'm going to share with you a bit of my story. Please keep the first slide. So despite being a marine scientist, working with the ocean for the past 7 years, it was only until 2020 when COVID hit that I realized our ocean actually possesses one of the most enriching foods on planet, and that is seaweed. As you look in the screen, it looks quite very ugly, right? But seaweed is one of the most enriching foods on planet with high nutrition, with potential of boosting immunity, and also it has a potential of curbing non-communicable diseases, which accounts for about 70% of all death globally. So in 2020, my team and I mapped 20 villages along the coast of Tanzania, and we found out that out of about 11,000 tons of seaweed produced in country, 99% is being used for export, and only less than 1% is used inland. And also we found out that there is limited nutritional awareness about seaweed, and also there is limited innovative seaweed-based foods in the country, which limits the usage of seaweed for food, especially in global south countries. So during this survey, we were inspired, my team and myself, to co-found a social enterprise, Healthy Seaweed Company, in which we have so far innovated 13 product lines of seaweed-based foods, which are delicious, nutritious, and affordable. And these foods range from seaweed chilies to seaweed lollipops to seaweed-infused gels. Ladies and gentlemen, despite all this, we were still facing challenges around market understanding, and apart from market understanding, scaling together with branding. So with FUNGUO grant, we were able to enhance our market understanding beyond Tanzania borders. Right now, we are expanding our market understanding to South Africa and United States. But apart from that, thank you. Apart from that, FUNGUO has helped us to scale to 8 stores in Dar es Salaam, Zanzibar, and Dodoma. And moreover, we were able to gain visibility and attract more funding. So I call upon and I challenge people in the room, for those who are applying, to consider this funding, because one of the most attractive things is that FUNGUO is beyond just money. For us, it's about technical expertise and access to networks and stakeholders who are shaping us to still be relevant in the business and startup ecosystem, my team and I. So I challenge you in the room to make better health choices and to try seaweed into your diet and see how it works out. And with that, I have my fellow co-founder in the room, Irene, who is having a pack of seaweed products. For anyone who is going to purchase today, I'm going to give a 5% discount. However, my last note, which I'm going to make, is that With seaweed purchasing, not only are we taking cautious with our health, but also we are rising with thousands of women who are involved with this farming along the coast of Tanzania. Thank you.
Hongera sana. Congratulations, Nancy. Congratulations, Nancy.
We have gotten a discount. You've gotten a discount. How many people here have ever heard of seaweed lollipop? None. So this is a great way to start your kids off early, because normally to convince an adult to consume seaweed, it might take a little bit of a challenge, except for those who are health conscious. So I do also note the work that you're doing in raising awareness about the health benefits of, seaweed. But, we can start our children early. When she told me about the seaweed lollipop, I said, I'm up for that. So, it's a healthy lollipop. It's a healthy lollipop, and we do have that discount. And I do know that, for anybody who follows Seaweed Cafe today on Instagram, they'll be able to connect to that number and they'd actually be able to get their orders delivered to them. Is that correct? Wonderful. Just another hand of applause to Nancy Iramba, ladies and gentlemen. So, how long does the discount last? How long is this the entire week or just today? How many days do we have? How many days do we have to catch the discount? Is it just for today? It is open any day as long as you say funguo, but then as a business person, I'm just going to say it's live for this week. You cannot just say funguo up to 2025. That we're going to destroy business. So up to Saturday, it is live and you have your discount, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to move on swiftly. We have a video that we wanted to show you. And this video talks about, of course, the work we're doing, and we're going to play it right now.
Tanzania's youth are thriving with innovation, transforming challenges into opportunities. With strategic support and funding, ambitious entrepreneurs are turning their ideas into impactful realities. Artif Aquaponics utilizes advanced farming techniques to meet Zanzibar's growing demand for produce. Expanding from 200 to 1,500 square meters, they have achieved a 375% revenue growth and created 58 jobs with a strong focus on gender equality. Plant Biodefender's organic pesticide, Vuruga, has revolutionized sustainable farming. With major investments and government contracts, they have created 45 jobs and positioned themselves as a key player in aquaculture. Soma Bags has increased production by 36% while reducing costs, leading to a 30% revenue growth. Their team now includes 86 employees, with over 50% being women. Africa Harvest turns coconut waste into eco-friendly agricultural products by scaling operations and securing funding. They've increased revenue by 60% and created jobs for 45% women. Simplytex Simplify VFD streamlines tax compliance for Tanzanian businesses. With innovative upgrades, they have grown revenue by 39.8% and expanded their team to drive further growth. Bluefin Solutions specializes in ICT services. By leveraging new capital, they have created revenue by 32%, formed strategic partnerships with major organizations such as CRDB Bank PLC and Vodacom Tanzania, unlocked new market opportunities and expanded their service offerings. Frontier Icicles has boosted production by 475% and sales by 456%, serving more customers and expanding its market reach. This growth highlights their innovative approach to meeting consumer demand. With funding and support through strategic partnerships, these startups are driving growth, creating jobs, and building a brighter future for Tanzania's innovation ecosystem.
Yes, and of course, yes, you can clap.
That just shows you the extent of the impact. Hivi vitu tunaanza tukavizungumzia juu juu, we can speak about these things lightly, however the impact is real. And trust me, the people on ground, the men and women in the streets who receive the impact and are impacted directly by these companies, by the work that they're doing, they can tell you a different stories. They are literally stories of change every single day that we get to hear and get to be experienced because of what the companies that have gone through these catalytic programs have been able to do. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go quickly and move into listening to Bluefin Solutions Limited story. We're going to bring to the stage Mr. Dietrich Mchami. Mr. Dietrich Mchami, karibu sana. He's going to share his story and move and talk to us about, how the iMBEJU program opened doors of acceleration for their product. Karibu sana. Makofi kwake tafadhali.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dietrich Mchami. I'm part of a co-founder of Bluefin Solution. Our journey started in 2018 as young, innovative entrepreneurs. We were able to participate in different accelerator programs and in different corporate events. However, we saw that there was an opportunity to increase the digitalization of these events and management. That's where, as young entrepreneurs, we came up with a product which is called Summit Point. So Summit Point is the robust, dynamic platform which comes in both mobile application and web application. This platform helps different event organizers, workshop organizers, dialogue coordinators to be able to plan their activities digitally, starting from preparation, coordinating the events while they are on site, and also being able to perform post-events analysis in order to make decisions on their business plans. So while we were continuing with this development of this project and this platform, we faced different challenges. Mainly it was capital investment in different equipments, and also different talents. We are grateful for iMBEJU program for onboarding us and having a partnership with us. Through that partnership, we were able to scale up our project. Through that partnership, we were able to acquire new talents. And with all this, we were able also to forge different partnerships. The biggest partnership including CRDB Bank PLC, in which we were part of the committee which organized this year annual share general meeting, which was held on the 17th of May at AICC in Arusha. Moving on forward, we envision to go across Africa. We envision to incorporate the platform with online multi-language translation in order to help in communication with different delegates from different countries who understand different languages, and also to include different aspects in order to support the PWDs who are also part of the community when they are using this platform to be able to participate and cooperate with us. I encourage all the young innovators who are here to apply with iMBEJU, and I wish you all the best. Asanteni sana.
Congratulations, Dietrich and your team, for seeing a market opportunity where others might just have been seeing events to attend. You saw that the fact that there are more and more events coming up, this provides a great opportunity for us to service the organizers, the planners, the managers of the different meetings that are now, of course, rising in numbers, not just on the African continent largely, but more specifically in Tanzania. Hongereni sana. And right after that, we're moving on swiftly to get to hear from Miss Caroline Clement. Miss Caroline Clement is a co-founder at Simply Tech Limited. A hand of applause to Caroline tafadhali.
Good morning, everyone. Protocol observed. So today I'm going to tell you my story of how we began and landed to Simplify. First of all, I want to share a story about my cousin called Rehema, who struggled to start her business. She lost her job during Corona, and after she lost her job, she now struggled on navigating on how to open a business. First of all, she never knew what are the requirements, what are the licenses needed, what are the actually taxes that she was required to pay at that particular time as she was starting her business. As she shared the stories and the pain points she was encountering, I had a friend in mind who had the brilliant expertise and also ran a firm in corresponding to the pinpoints that Rehema was facing. Hence, I had to link Rehema and the co-founder of Simplify, Baraka Kassian, to now begin navigating on how he and Rehema could help each other on now to run her business. As we dived in on how we are solving Rehema's problem, we still notified that Rehema couldn't keep her books well, record keeping. She also struggled as well to know what are the actual taxes that she was required to pay. Hence now brought into the table, I and my fellow co-founders, to create a one-stop solution whereby it enabled people like Rehema to start their business, grow their business, and also manage their business at one platform. Hence leading to the born of Simplify VFD. As we navigate on the journey, we met different partners and different programs that really assisted us in uplifting on how our business grow. What a coincidence today, we are a testimonial of all the FUNGUO and iMBEJU program because we all got this at the same time and we are the beneficiary of the program at once. Leading forward as we proceed the journey, we gained a lot of credibility because prior to this engagement, we were rejected. We lost a lot of funding because other investors never believed. But today, we are a testimonial that iMBEJU and FUNGUO believed in the dreams, believed on the 2,000 Rehemas we served, and the corporates that we really integrated with the system that are able to now comply to all tax laws and regulations and now streamlining the business growth wherever they are. So it's a call this morning to call that let's gain through the journey and not only navigating the business transformation in Tanzania, but also creating ownership to all business individuals, being it macro, being it small enterprises, to own the ownership of the bookkeeping. Thank you.
Well done. Another round of applause, tafadhali. Congratulations, and also congratulations to the team for not giving up. She did mention something very, very important. A lot of founders, a lot of innovators face a lot of rejection, especially when they cannot convince different investors that there's a market need for their product. And normally when there is innovation involved and you have people on the other side who don't necessarily have the inkling of what that market need looks like, or even how that innovation could be one way or the other, something that could meet that market need, sometimes because of the innovation being too new, or sometimes lack of understanding of what that market need is, or rather for several different reasons. But congratulations for not giving up, for keeping going. And the fact of the matter is, because of your resilience, so many entrepreneurs get to have their processes when it comes to compliance a lot more streamlined, and you're alleviating a lot of depression for a lot of young entrepreneurs. Makofi kwa Simply Tech, Simplify. And also to iMBEJU and FUNGUO for believing in them when other people could not see the potential. Ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on swiftly to listen to the last but not least entrepreneur. This is one who I'm going to introduce as engineer, because that's what it is. Engineer Tiberius Mario from Timasu Products Company, founder Timasu Product Company. Makofi kwa engineer tafadhali.
Yes, good morning, everybody. My name is Tiberius Mario, a chemical and process engineer and environmental expert. Yes, currently we have, Tanzania has almost 8 million artisanal and small-scale miners, and out of that, almost 2 million using substandard method on gold extraction. That method probably killed themselves and even destroy their families along the process. Also, we have business women who always cook a delicious food such as Mama Ntilie. We have industries which producing coconut milk. We have industries which produce coconut oil. And we don't know the coconut shells are going, because that process, always you're going to generate the solid waste, which is coconut shells. So there where Timasu products came. We unlock the value of coconut shells by producing a valuable product known as activated carbon. The activated carbon is used in a safely manner to extract gold from the soil. So we are helping that small miners to use a safe method to extract gold, and also by reusing the solid waste, which means we minimize the eruption of diseases which came out from that solid waste, because we know that the coconut shells is a breeding site for mosquito. So 2020 I started, me and my team as an engineer, we specialized on research, designing and fabrication. So 2020 we started as research. Then 2021, we came up with the prototype. 2022, we participated in the Makisatu competition. We won, we became #1, 2022. That's where Makisatu validating us to start the business, to put the business to the market, to sell the activated carbon to the miners, to different areas like Ushirombo, Sherui, Chunya. We supplied the activated carbon. 2023, we succeeded to have loan from iMBEJU, that stepping up as to face the challenges we had, like the sustainability or sustainable purchasing the raw material from different markets and different suppliers. Of course, iMBEJU shaped us to formalize our business, also to increase the capacity from 120 kg per batch to 300 kilogram per batch. So that is the benefit of iMBEJU once we had that loan to fix that challenges we had. So what is our vision as Timasu? Of course, just to healthier the Tanzania miners, so that they are not going to use mercury, because nowadays those 2 million are using mercury on the gold extraction, which is very, very dangerous to their health. So we need to change that method so that to use activated carbon to extract gold from the soil. And remember, mercury can extract only 30%, but activated carbon, you can extract gold for almost 98%. Thank you. And second, just to use or to reuse the solid waste which can cause diseases to make another valuable product. So every waste you are seeing to the street, remember that can form another valuable product so that we can increase first the GDP of the country and to come up with a new product of ours. So like now, Tanzania, if we managed to use almost half of coconut shells produced per year, we can produce almost 15,000 tons of activated carbon. And the demand of Tanzania, activated carbon per year, is 1,530 tons per year. So if we just manage to use half of the waste that generated here in Tanzania, we can produce activated carbon 10 times demand of our country. So we can export to other nearby countries like Congo, Botswana, and even South Africa, and to become a leading country for the activated carbon production. So by closing, let us join our hands together to save environment, health, and safety as far as environmental is concerned. Thank you.
Congratulations. Jamani, makofi tena kwake Engineer Tiverius Mario pamoja na timu yake. And the fact of the matter is, he's reminded us there is no waste that is simply waste. We can turn every bit of waste into actual products that can be used to increase GDP, but at the same time catalyze growth in other industries. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been notified that our guest of honor will be heading out to other business this morning. Let's give him a round of applause. Tunashukuru sana kwa uwepo wako, kwa kuwa nasi, kututia moyo, na really encourage the entire ecosystem. A hand of applause. Honorable Stanislaus Harun Nyongo, ladies and gentlemen, Deputy Minister of State, President's Office. Tumpigie makofi, tumsindikize na makofi anavyotoka. Asante sana, Naibu Waziri. Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Hapana, kwa sauti hizo kazi haitaendelea, itakufa. Tutajaribu tena. Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Kazi bado inakufa hapo, yani kwa kweli hatuwezi ku-export. Let's try one more time. It is 11:02 and I'm pretty sure the breakfast you had in the morning, which was incredible, is still around somewhere. I'm pretty sure you are inspired in one way or the other, so we're going to give it one last go. Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Much better. I have a feeling that everybody online has been able to follow the conversation. And I'm hoping that one way or the other, you're not only inspired, but you're also triggered to share the information that you're hearing with other people. And I just want to also keep reminding you that we are live on Mwananchi Digital's YouTube page, their Instagram channel, as well as FUNGUO Program's YouTube page. We are live. So please do make sure that you're sharing this information with other people who are not here across every region in Tanzania. We are moving on swiftly to a panel discussion, short but very, very pertinent conversation. And on this panel, we're going to have some of the leaders of different organizations, different companies that are unlocking finance for startups and really reshaping the startup ecosystem financing model in the country. And of course, to lead this conversation, before I do know he's getting situated, to lead this conversation will be none other than FUNGUO Innovation Programme's manager, Mr. Joseph Manirakiza. And of course, as he comes to the stage to lead the panel Unlocking Startup Financing Through Strategic Partnerships, nitaomba mpigie makofi aliyoshiba. Kwa wote tunayemfahamu Mr. Manirakiza, hatumjamfahamu leo tu, ni mtu ambaye ana chachu kweli kwa ajili ya hii ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm also going to bring to the stage Ms. Joycelyn Makule, Head of Operations, CRDB Bank Foundation. Ms. Joycelyn Makule, Head of Operations, CRDB Bank Foundation. Makofi hayakutosha kwa kweli. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd also like to bring to the stage founder, Serengeti Business Angels Network, Mr. Roderick Msechu. Mr. Roderick Msechu, karibu sana. Also to the stage, Ms. Krupa Patel, Board Director, ANZA. Ms. Krupa Patel, Board Director, ANZA, makofi kwake tafadhali. And also to the stage, Mr. Nguvu Kamando, Vodacom Business Director from Vodacom Tanzania. Do we have Mr. Nguvu with us? All right, I do believe that Mr. Nguvu might be joining us virtually, but otherwise we shall proceed with the conversation. Everybody online, I'd just like to remind you once more that I will be checking the chat. If you have any questions or anything that you'd like to contribute to the conversation, put it in the chat and we'll make sure that you stay engaged. Karibu sana, Mr. Manirakiza.
All right, good morning everyone once again. So excited to be here again. My esteemed panelists, I believe it's going to be a vibrant conversation. And what we are focusing on, again, is what the theme for this call. It's more about strategic partnerships and how that can help us unlock further startup financing for our startups in Tanzania. So I'm going to just give like a minute, everybody, to kind of talk about themselves, most importantly what they do, because I think we've heard about their names already. Starting from my far left, Ms. Krupa Patel. Tell us about yourself, what ANZA does, and basically what you see in this particular conversation. Karibu.
Hello, yes, okay. Yeah, thank you, Joseph. I'm Krupa. I'm one of the co-founders of Silverleaf that I co-founded close to 15 years ago now. And ANZA really believes that entrepreneurs has the ability to transform Tanzania. They're the ones that are going to create the jobs that are so vital. They're the people that are going to come through with the innovations to create solutions, new products, new services for our very, very growing population to create the lives that they so deserve. And ANZA supports entrepreneurs by providing capital, capacity building, and connections. So we do connections through, we run some ANZA hubs, capital through the ANZA Growth Fund, and capacity building through a range of capacity building programs, from investment readiness to business foundations. And I previously transitioned as the CEO about 5 years ago. After years of working with innovators and entrepreneurs, I became very curious around how these individuals are cultivated, and a little bit concerned that our current education system isn't producing those entrepreneurs and innovators. So I came full circle and went into the education system myself, and am now an education entrepreneur building a network of very high quality, affordable pre and primary schools called Silverleaf.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Krupa. I'm sure based on your experience and what you're currently doing at ANZA, definitely you have a lot to share about partnerships. So let's move to Joycelyn.
Thank you very much, Joseph. Very good morning. My name is Joycelyn Makule. I am the head of operations at CRDB Bank Foundation. My duty is to oversee the operations, of course, but also unlock partnerships and collaborations. And today is another momentous day for us as we open doors to working with partners. So in a nutshell, what is CRDB Bank Foundation? This is a new baby under the CRDB Bank Group PLC, a leading financial institution in Tanzania that has 3 other subsidiaries that are for profit. And the uniqueness of CRDB Bank Foundation is that It entirely does not for profit, but creating sustainable measures and platforms that are targeted purely for women and youth in Tanzania and elsewhere where our bank has presence. We're seeing today our flagship program, that is the iMBEJU program, coined last year with hardly a year in the market. We've been able to reach more than 300,000 women who were previously lacking financial knowledge, financial management, financial education. Through the CRDB Bank Foundation, our mandate, with the experience and expertise as a financial, as a corporate NGO, we've been able to provide financial education literacy, but also provide platforms for them to be included as we move towards financial inclusion and contribute towards that. I think we'll further progress in how important partnerships are considered under CRDB Bank Foundation. It's a gateway for us to collaborate, work with the government, work with development partners, with the private sector, and all the other partners that are contributing towards financial inclusion, literacy, but also holistically empowering women and youth in Tanzania. Asante.
Thank you very much, Jocelyn. Let's move to Msechu.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, Msechu.
My name is Msechu. It's very important that we connect and I speak and you hear me. I work with the Serengeti Business Angel Network. We have been operating the past 3 years, and at Serengeti Angels, we invest in promising startups. We do have a portfolio of 5 companies, hoping by end of this month, that would be 6. And I will just go very quickly through our thesis. We invest founder first, between $10,000 and $150,000, primarily in founders that are solving problems in Tanzania. And we do try to get Tanzanians to become angel investors, because we quickly realized that for us to solve these problems, we need to be more. So we started through the support of partners like UNCDF and the EU delegation, the first cohort of an angel accelerator, which we just finished. But we also got some support from the Dutch Good Growth Fund to conduct a feasibility study to understand how possible it is to get Tanzanians to become angel investors. And through this support, we've published a feasibility study that you're free to have a look at in our website. But we also got some mentorship to understand how do we create this angel network to be a strong institution that can be a key player in our ecosystem. And some of the findings, we are working on them. Harambe Evening is one. We've done 4 editions. And yeah, I could speak more about this, but I'm really excited to be here. That's why I started by greeting you, and congratulations to FUNGUO and iMBEJU for this collaboration. I think we always say, let's collaborate, but you're leading from the front, so ongereni sana.
Thank you. And probably I'm actually going to start from you, because I remember when we were exploring this idea of piloting this kind of collaboration, we reached out to you, and gladly you provide inputs into design of the call, and you are willing to look at what comes out of the process to be so. I know that one of the things that angel investors, but any other investor look at is, maybe they shy away from investment because of the risk. That's why you look at the founders first. What can strategic partnerships like these do to reduce the risk for angel investors to actually put money into startups?
That's a great question. In my opinion, first, the customer that is going to pay for the product is the most important person in the room, right? And so the founder needs to listen to the market, and as they're working on their product or service, they should always be listening to what the customer is doing, right? Now, for us, we come in because we need to now support the founder. If they are really solving the problem and are in touch with the market, we try to support them. But very quickly we realize that it takes a village, right, for us to be able to get them across the line. So from the angel investors' perspective, we are looking at investing money, supporting them with our networks, and mentoring them. but we are also looking to get returns in 3 to 5 years, right? So for us, who is our customer? The off-taker, the person who is going to allow us to exit the business. And they are looking at a few things that we are passionate about. So strategic partnerships for us is, for example, this joint call, understanding that angel investors are looking for something that can be exited, right? And how do we support that? And we have a few examples that I've shared before, like the Catalytic Fund by ABAN, where or the Develop Program Ventures, where they give a grant of 100,000 euros to their startup on condition that they match that fund. So the founder is forced to speak to angel investors to get an equivalent amount. And as they speak and negotiate with us, even though they are commercial terms, we make sure the check boxes that will allow follow-on funding are met, right? So joint call for application, but I will be curious to see if we continue this collaboration, especially when the applications have been submitted, having angel investors sit in the investment committees so that they can spot which founders they will be willing to work with going forward. That could be a very good way of going around it. Finally, our portfolio companies, we have 5, like I mentioned. They do need support, and what we've found working very well is giving them the control. So for example, you as iMBEJU and FUNGUO are going to offer technical support. It would be wonderful if the founder decides who is going to mentor them, so that you provide that support, but they decide maybe this mentor will help me, or this technical service provider will help me, right? Yeah, so those are my quick thoughts, Joseph.
Yeah, thank you very much, iMBEJU. Definitely we are going to continue this collaboration, and yeah, you're welcome to join us in seeing what comes out of it. So let me go to Jocelyn. Well, I think we're all excited when CRDB Bank started the CRDB Bank Foundation, because I think one of the criticisms within the ecosystem has always been that banks are very difficult to lend to startups, which is in a way true, because we know that banks are not friends to smaller people, so that's fine. But starting CRDB Bank Foundation, I think it was more like signaling that, you know what, we actually want to come up with innovative ways to support those who cannot be supported through traditional means. One of my panelists is already here, so Nguvu, just come on stage. Karibu. Yeah. Right, so I just wanted to know, from the CRDB Bank Foundation's point of view, what can catalytic grants like these, which are provided by development partners, do to actually unlock more investment from the likes of CRDB and CRDB Bank Foundation? And I'm talking about you as an example for other banks who are in the room.
Thank you, Joseph. Is it working? Yeah. So before I respond to the question, or I contribute to the idea, I was recently in the Lake Zone. I was in Mwanza, and I met up with Joseph from Kononi, and he's having a tour, meeting his teams across all the zones in Tanzania. This is to say startups is not small people. We have seen the testimonials from the beneficiaries of the FUNGUO and the iMBEJU program. You see how much they've impacted not only the communities, but also how many people they've brought on board. So really this is, whether we like it or not, this is a sector that is coming up. It is booming. As all of us were walking in, we saw the photo of the running president of the United States. She came to Tanzania early this year? Early this year. Or last year perhaps. And I'm sure she had less than 2 days in the country. Of all the US investments in this country, she visited the Sandbox back in Mikocheni suburb. So this also shows that whether we close the eyes to the booming startup sector or not, it is a growing sector that financial institutions are also looking at. So coming from a corporate or financial based foundation, that is the CRDB Bank Foundation, this is an area that is also foreseen and looked at pretty closely. The challenges, we all know the challenges. It's a high-risk area. It's a high-risk area, but it's an area that we, as a leading financial institution in the country, meaning CRDB Bank, has mandate and duty to ensure that we take away all the risks and build up these businesses. Tanzania has an advantage or an opportunity of its population. More than half of Tanzanians are of the average age of 17 years old. What are we going to do with these, with the young people of Tanzania? We have innovative people that have various solutions that are offered to our communities. Our duty is to ensure we give them a push. We give them a push to provide a platform to create more jobs, create more opportunities, employment opportunities, businesses that are going to support the economy of the country and the region as well. So we foresee these things, we know where the market is going, we create a buffer zone, that is the CRDB Bank Foundation through the iMBEJU program, and of course with the partnership of the FUNGUO program, which provides catalytic funding, we join hands together to ensure that we support the sector, we take away the risks, and encourage more youth to create these solutions. And I believe, as Roderick said here, we are going to see a revolution. There's a lot of people who are going to look at the startup sector as an area for investment, domestic investments. The ambassador said here earlier that more than $23 million have been invested in the startups ecosystem within Tanzania. That's domestic funding, let alone the funding that is coming from outside. We've seen the Nalas, we've seen the Ramanis, we've seen so many of them. Those are the most popular ones. But there are so many that are coming up, and we are ready to create for them a platform for growth and new markets and creating more jobs and catalyzing the economy of this country.
Yeah. Thanks, Jocelyn. Before I go to Nguvu, let me go to Krupa. Jocelyn has said that we've seen so many Nalas and everything. I hope those Nalas were actually registered in Tanzania, but that's another story for another day. But so you have experience as a startup founder, as an executive in an enterprise support organization that you are now sitting on the board, and you basically have quite a lot of experience within the Tanzania startup ecosystem. What have you seen work as far as partnership is concerned, and how can we unlock many Nalas by actually coming together, in your own opinion?
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe just to pick up on Roderick said that it takes a village, and I feel that is strategic partnership speaks to that, knowing that it takes a village to raise a child. And in finance, strategic partnerships, finance is the food that allows that child to grow. The food that Toto needs to eat some uji. But that child, before it can actually be ready to ingest uji and turn that into growth and forward movement, that child needs to actually have a base level of health and vitality and a readiness to actually process. And too often we think, okay, entrepreneurs just need financing. And sometimes I actually think financing can be detrimental if it's given too early. So for me, the strategic partnerships and some of the work that we've done at ANZA really it speaks to the importance of getting that child ready with the strong pillars of health and rigor to then be ready to convert financing at the right time. And for us, that's where we focus on the core pillars. Is the financial pillar strong? Does the entrepreneur know their product, their business model? Have they been able to iterate enough such that they're really ready for that type of financing? A little trip also down memory lane. Before FUNGUO was FUNGUO, so back in the HDIF days, I remember HDIF ended up sending Anza and a few entrepreneurs to Nairobi, and there was a conference there called SanCalp, and we were running a session on being able to show the opportunities of driving business and enterprise in Tanzania. And the tagline at that time was innovation it's either new to the world or it's new to Tanzania. And one of the entrepreneurs that we were with at the time connected at that conference with an existing water enterprise called Jibu, serving a lot of different markets across East Africa. And we kind of had this aha moment of, well, this is an existing enterprise, they're doing great, they're serving millions of low-income families with refill water. Why does it have to be that it's new innovation? Can it not just be it's new to Tanzania? So during that conference, while we were there on behalf of kind of pre-FUNGUO, we said, well, actually, let's take that sentiment seriously and actually just bring in and invite this really well-established water enterprise into the country. We can create the strategic partnerships that are needed to bring their well-versed innovation into a new market. And fast forward a few months, Anza ended up, through a range of different partnerships, doing a market entry analysis. We connected them with the right entrepreneur, with the founding team, and now is kind of serving as one of the leading water suppliers within the country. Anza provided, after helping them get their business model together, Anza provided the seed capital. We then connected them with their first angel investors and have gone on to support them in raising a few $1 million. But the first was, let's get the fundamentals right and leverage various different partnerships in the process.
Thank you very much. So let me go to my right, Nguvu Commando. I think you are going to have, first of all, to apologize to my audience. And this is what it takes when you invite hot shots for big companies. They come when they want, right? Anyway, that's fine. Yeah, so maybe to start it off, you can introduce yourself, who you are. Briefly talk about the Vodacom accelerator that you're actually running, because this year you have actually taken it to the next level, which was very great, hongera. And you can also touch on how we can have that kind of initiative, kind of leverage on others to kind of, support more startup at more, with higher impact, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah, over to you.
Thank you, Joe. Good morning. I humbly apologize for being late. It's not like what he said, coming from big company, rather than the challenges and traffic jam nearby. But that's not an excuse. I really apologize. And my name is Nguvu Commando. I'm the director for enterprise of Vodacom Business at Vodacom Tanzania. And at Vodacom, apart from being a telecom company, but we do also support startups through our program that was launched in 2019 under the name Vodacom Digital Accelerator. Over the years, we have managed to launch or to have 3 seasons or cohorts. Cohort 1 that started in end of 2019, which had some challenges when COVID came, but we were happy that we managed to end the program with successful candidates. We had massive applicants, over 500, and we managed to onboard 15 of them, and some now are running business within the country and even outside the country. Cohort 2 had over 13 participants, and cohort 3 we had 20 participants. We had a boot camp as well as the winners, 7 of them. They went under the accelerator program for the period of 3 months. And as Joe said, they had also privileged to visit some of the big tech companies in Shenzhen in China for 1 week. So to answer your questions, what do we see with regards to how can we unleash more from the startup, the potentials through partnerships, strategic partnership. I really agree. We even saw, they even saw themselves during the season 3, what happened during the tour. They saw that even the giants like of Huawei, Transcend, ByteNet, DGI, they don't really work alone. So it's not one-man show end-to-end. They have partnership with small suppliers to ensure that the entire value chain is being addressed. So the ecosystem in Tanzania with regards to startups and innovation in general is really growing. And with the current status of having big guys, not only like the FUNGUO, but iMBEJU from CRDB, we foresee more partnership coming, and we really ask for more corporate to come. So what really made us to not only upgrade to align with the theme was the fact that we see we had some gaps with regards to international exposure, sustainability, as well as having that awareness in terms of what are the solutions the startups we are addressing and what are the impact that they're bringing to the country. So what we did for season 3 was to address all those ones, including onboarding a partner that could help us in terms of technology. So you can see, even within the program itself, strategic partnership with there. So it's Vodacom and Huawei, as well as our implementing partner that is Mass Challenge from Boston, USA. But we are encouraging and we are speaking with the other partners to get more collaboration so that we can really move forward together. So it's really not only on the startup, but also for the corporates who can really make the difference through strategic partnership. So I really advocate and I really agree that through strategic partnership we can really get upgraded. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Nguvu, and sorry for picking up on you. So I think we've just heard how Vodacom, as a private sector company, also leveraged on partnership to be able to support further startups under their Vodacom Digital Accelerator, which is something to emulate. Maybe we need to discuss more on how we can embed more partnership to kind of now make them more, instead of doing 20 to do 60 or something like that. Yeah, so maybe let me look at it now from the angle of startup side. How can we have, and this I would like to hear from Msechu and Krupa, more of how can we now assist startups take advantage of these emerging partnerships to actually go further? Because, and how can we be able to harmonize that? Because what we have seen is more like, okay, there are different initiatives that are working in silos. And in a way, some startups are actually taking advantage of that. You know, that I'm here, then I will go there because, you know, there's no sharing of information. At least under a program which are supported by EU, we try to leverage on each other. We have Pesa Tech Accelerator, we have FUNGUO. You know, Pesa Accelerator is more about accelerating. We know some of them that come there that become stronger and get funding from FUNGUO to actually go further. So how can we be able to share that kind of, to leverage on each other's effort to kind of be able to support them more? Maybe starting from Serge, on the startup side, like what should they do?
Yes, thank you, Joseph. I think in my perspective, I agree we work in silos, though I am optimistic, and this initiative is one example, and I'll zero in on what we are looking at commercial terms. And then the likes of FUNGUO are looking at impact first. And then CRDB will be looking at how can we create a market for us, right? So these objectives sometimes conflict. And so for us to be able to support the startup and make sure they are not jumping from one partner to the other without alignment is, for example, launching and making sure that all the terms are met, right? And FUNGUO accepting that even though we want impact, we do know that for it to be sustainable, that business and team, as well as business team, as well as the innovation has to be gotten right. And then if you ask us to come and be part of the process of selecting, I feel then we will be able to weed out the bad players from the founder's side.
Now, Krupa, take it away.
Yeah, sure. So I would say I'll answer it from both perspectives, the entrepreneur side and the ESO, Entrepreneur Support Organization side. The ESO side, I appreciate the fact that you speak honestly about there is a lot of silos, and I think that there is a lot of opportunity to synchronize and create efficiencies, optimize the various different offerings that various organizations have. There was just the Olympics, and it's kind of like the relay. A well-oiled ecosystem knows our lane, and we know which section are we running. It would be totally inefficient for someone to just try and run the whole lap. It just wouldn't work. And I think that, Anza earlier, back in the day, we really tried to cover a lot of the lanes. We had an impact competition for university students at ideation stage, and we ran, for hundreds of entrepreneurs to provide their ideas, and then we financed them. We supported ideation stage enterprises to then post proof of concept to post revenue. We really tried to span all the lanes. And the reality was, we were like that one relay person trying to run the whole thing. We weren't running it fast, effectively, and it took us years to really understand which bit of the race not only do we care about, do we think that we're good at, and do we feel like there is a clear enough gap with other ecosystem players. There are some amazing ecosystem players supporting younger entrepreneurs earlier stage. There are some great partners doing, venture capital or taking to scale, etc. So I would say that's one, is there is opportunity to better define what is our lane and to own that. There's no shame in saying, well, we actually just don't go further earlier or further later. And, it took us many, many years to also say no to opportunity. It's such a difficult thing. So I think that that's one. And, while I totally agree that our ecosystem is growing and we're really going places, we're also small enough that we absolutely could share pipeline. There could be a centralized platform where we're able to, I really commend the coming together for the two organizations here. The fact that there's one application, there's one pipeline. It also just saves so much time and so much valuable energy for entrepreneurs who are doing applications. It's not one application for FUNGUO, one for iMBEJU. So really commend truly the consolidation, and I think that we could even take that further in being able to see what further consolidation could there be. Final one on the entrepreneur side is, I think it's helpful to sometimes remember you can do anything, but not everything. This is my time. KP, you're talking too much. But I think that, hello. Sometimes when there is a range of opportunity, it's very exciting to say, great, I'm going to apply for this challenge fund and this competition and this accelerator. And, especially when there's capital involved. But I think that my advice, even as an okay, I'm going to second try. I would just say our time and energy is the most critical, and being able to jump into everything is not always the most serving of our mission. Sometimes I'm quite amazed at how much of a chameleon different entrepreneurs can be. As you've got your core business, and then all of a sudden, we've also somehow shaped ourselves to be an environmental angle because there's an environmental competition that's out, or for girls and women because there's this specific thing that's out. Whereas if you really were able to stop and say, what is my core mission? What is the reason why I started this enterprise, and not be a chameleon because there are so many opportunities, I think that we sometimes could get to that destination quicker, even if it means saying no to certain opportunities. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. So, I think there's quite a lot to learn from there, and they probably can do as an ecosystem. I would like to open up this up to conversation from the audience as well. If you've got questions or some comments, suggestion, you definitely welcome as we continue this conversation. I don't know if there is any hand up already. Somebody who's got something burning that they would like to take out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is your moment. Any question, any comment, any point of confusion? Anybody with anything that you'd like to share? Joseph, I think we can give you and the panel a massive round of applause because you've done an impeccable job. There's literally no question.
Right. So maybe let's proceed while you're still thinking about your questions. Just my last round of questions. Let me get back to Nguvu. Now, set it up before I ask my question.
Cool. Thanks. So, again, sorry if it was part of the previous opening, but for me, I think this strategic partnership topic is really great, and it doesn't really end to the investors or the likes of the banks or the likes of Vodacom, Huawei, etc. But I think the startups themselves, they have a role to play. And this will really add value, especially if you are in the same space. So let's say you are on edutech or fintech, but you are not addressing the entire problem. So someone is addressing from A to B, but the solution need to be from A to C. And another one is doing C to D. Why should not really partner so that they have a really solution which is end-to-end, and hence bring more value not only to the investors but also to the society, because now the entire problem will be solved. I have these examples. You'll find solution A is addressing, let's say, the challenges in practical subjects, science in secondary schools, and company B or startup B is addressing the other part of the theory. So with that example, if they partner, they provide an end-to-end solution which makes more value. Similar on logistics, similar on cybersecurity sector. So examples are really there, and we see that if these startups, they can really partner themselves strategically to ensure that they really scale and get the solution, the problem addressed end-to-end. I'm sure they will get investors, and also the traction will be very high because it will be really addressing end-to-end of the problem. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Nguvu. I think what you just suggested, that probably we need to work with our enterprise support organization even much closely, because those are the ones who are supposed to help entrepreneurs to know how to partner and, hone their negotiation skills. Yeah, I also want to remind that we also have audience online, and I've been with the challenge that there are some people who would like to contribute in Swahili, so they definitely welcome to ask questions or even give comments in Swahili. So once again, if there's anyone in the audience right here who would like to ask a question, you're still welcome. As I move towards concluding my conversation. So, Msechu, what would be your call now going forward? Now, this is going to touch on angel investors like yourself, touch on corporate banks, such as on ESOs, development partners that work with. Like, what specifically should we do, in addition to what you already suggested, to actually drive partnership should benefit more of the startups than ourselves to meet the KPIs? Over.
Thanks, Joseph. It sounds like it's a very extensive question. What should we do? There's so much to do for us to build the ecosystem. But I'll start by saying that let's not downplay the fact that partnership is hard. Huh? It's the reason why we are working in silos is because it's hard to work with other people and other institutions. And this means that we need, as founders, to get out of our comfort zone and agree that the partnership you're going to do with another startup, as Nguvu was mentioning, it takes more effort. They have a different vision probably, but the best way to go forward is first to know what your value is and what you bring on the table, so that then you're able to be honest with yourself and with your partner to say, here is where I stop. And I can give examples. When we started S-Ban, I met Innovate team, right, Francis, and we decided, let's partner. So Innovate Ventures and Francis are part of S-Ban at the beginning because there are things they understand very well, and there are things that we understood well coming from the private market entry point of view and private sector point of view. But obviously you learn how to dance with each other, how to work with each other, and you keep going. So now, coming back to what else should be done. So partnerships, necessary but hard, so let's keep working on them. It takes a village, that has already been done, and I would say that we need more platforms for us to concretize what we are already doing informally. And another example I can give is the Harambee evening, which basically startups come and pitch. We take 3 startups, the audience pay 20,000 shillings, all the get collection goes to one startup that we decide or we vote for, right? We've done 3 editions, and Joseph here with the Funguo, some of the team have come, from Pesatech, from CRDB, they have come, but can we get more concrete to see, okay, how can we partner so that it's not the individuals in the institution, but can we drive what we want to do and translate that to concrete partnership? It's going to be hard, but I think it's the time to do it. Then finally, our part, the part we play in the ecosystem is getting ourselves as Tanzanians, as people based in Tanzania, to have skin in the game. So we can talk all day, but if we are not consuming the product, if we are saying we have incredible startups, but we are not ready to take money from our pockets and invest in that idea, it becomes very hard for other people to say, to do that, right? And so as an angel network, we are about to launch cohort 2 of the Angel Investors Accelerator. Obviously, you need to commit some money, but then you get enough tools and knowledge to understand how to invest in these startups, right? So we'll keep doing that, and that's our part, and that's our promise to the ecosystem. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So, buy Tanzanian, support Tanzanian startups. So, Jocelyn, as we conclude, how can we get more money from banks going to startups?
Really? Yes, I would get back to that. But as I conclude, we've heard a lot of sayings today on if you want to go further, do not go alone. It takes a village. There's a Swahili saying, kidole kimoja hakivunji chawa. If you're a non-Swahili speaker, ask your neighbor. So there's a lot that speaks about partnership today. And in building the startup ecosystem and individual startups, it is not only financing that grows and builds the startup ecosystem in Tanzania. There's a lot of contribution that is required. As we are maneuvering through building this, we know we are yet to have stronger policies, frameworks that clearly define what a startup is and the investment towards startups. That is also a contribution that is required. We know that we need to build these companies into commercialization, so there's a lot of business models that are required. There's a lot of mentorship that are supposed to be provided to these companies for their growth. So in addition to financing that CRDB Bank Foundation provides through CRDB Bank, and of course the various partners in form of reimbursable grants and lesser or rather subsidized criteria and eligibility, we have to all come together and ensure that we grow this sector, provide all the ingredients, all the catalysts that are needed for the next 10 years to see a booming sector as a result of the joint efforts that we are building today. Through this call, it's a starting point of our partnerships and us collaborating. Roderick said partnerships are hard, yes, but we have to start somewhere. We discussed with FUNGUO through, Joseph, of course, you know, we've discussed this for over a year on how to best provide solutions to the startups and the startup ecosystem. We are in discussion with various other key stakeholders in ensuring that we are part of the pioneers of building this new sector to catalyze our economy. And my plea to all of you, development partners, startup ecosystem stakeholders that are in the room, the youth that have various innovations in Tanzania, let's grab the opportunities, but let us not only look in the financing part. There's a lot that are supposed to be put in together for the growth of the startup ecosystem. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Over to you, Krupa. Same question. What's your call to everyone involved within the innovation ecosystem as far as partnership is concerned?
So I'm going to continue with the analogy of it takes a village. It's a good running theme. And, you know, when the child is graduating, we don't have different family members claiming, oh yeah, huyu ni alikuwa mtoto yangu. I mean, yes, you'd have that as your parents, but you haven't got the auntie saying, yeah, that was my arm, or the uncle saying, yeah, that was my leg, I grew that leg. What we care about is the kid grew and is hustling in the world and is graduating and is able to do what they want to do. There's not this this claiming of, well, you know, I actually got them to walk, and well, I took them to school. And I think that when us as an ecosystem can be focused on that end outcome, it actually doesn't matter as much, you know, who got them to ideation, who got them to market validation, who got them to this stage of funding. It actually doesn't matter. And I think it took me leaving the operational role of ANZA to have that distance and have that perspective, where I actually don't care if it's an ANZA alum. You know, I used to get so excited, like, yes, you know, 50% of the ANZA alum got funding from that challenge, and, you know, these guys it's ANZA that's doing this thing. Really, like, how do we even know whether attribution is so difficult? You know, there's so many different stages within, you know, an entrepreneur within an enterprise that it's so difficult to attribute. Was it Serengeti Business Angels? Was it Bunia back in the day? Was it Innovate? Was it ANZA? It actually really doesn't matter. And I think that, again, it's so exciting that the sector is really growing, and it's absolutely, I can see the energy, the dynamism, the potential. But we also are young enough that it actually could be fairly easy for us to all sit within a room, a fraction of this size, and figure out what is the architecture to create a single, or as close to a single, platform where all of the entrepreneurs are able to apply through one platform. I don't think it would be that difficult to be able to say, let's just all consolidate. Let's just figure out where all of our entrepreneurs that have applied to every single challenge, every single various form of application, and there's a synchronized bank of these applications. I also think on the services side, whether it's ESO services, financing services, the whole spectrum, I also think it would be quite easy to have one synchronized platform where all of those services are available. I'm getting into architecture mode, so I'm not going to be solutions-oriented right now, but I'm sure that there is, if we're talking about innovation, let's innovate on the services side. I'm sure that there is a way to take what you guys have done as a partnership and extrapolate in this with the same principle that you yourselves have. And my call, I don't know if I have a call. I guess it would be to build that.
You've already given it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Krupa. Yeah, that's really thoughtful. Maybe it's something we can think about and say we can realize it. Now, over to you, Nguvu. 1 minute, if you can now make your final call, like as to what can actually do more to realize this stronger partnership for the ecosystem.
Thank you very much, Joe. Once again, before I answer that, I think I should really commend for a good job from the developing partners. We have come a long way, and through partnership, we can see now the big changes are coming from supporting or sponsoring Innovation Week to really handing big things to startups is really a good job, well done, especially to you and the entire stakeholder within the European Union point of view, as well as our own COSTECH and other stakeholders within the innovation. Because you cannot separate innovation and entrepreneurship. You cannot separate innovation and startups, because if you are not innovating, then you are not disrupting, and you are not solving problems. So for us, as Vodacom Tanzania, we understand that our purpose is to connect for a better future, and we have to empower the society, and we have to ensure that we include everybody, inclusion for all, and we have to do all that without jeopardizing our beautiful planet. So we have to protect the planet. So you can see the last innovation, or the last cohort, for the first time, we had startups that were addressing the planet. And even the finalists were part of those sectors. So I think that one call should end by challenging other enterprises, challenging other corporates to join hands, like what we have seen CRDB and the FUNGUO, to really unlock the potential of the startup in this country. What we saw in China is just ahead of us, like 10 years. I believe we will be there. We have everything. We have the very dynamic youth. We have very potential in every sector. And for us, I think just it's a matter of time. And the energy there, the determination is there, and the startup are there. The call to the enterprise, corporate, to really support them and get them to the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nguvu. Thank you very much, everyone, all my panelists. I think we've heard quite a lot. It takes a village. Kidole kimoja kivunji chawa. Partnerships are not that easy, that people don't do it. And I dare to say that at least at FUNGUO, we are walking the talk. We are not just talking. You've seen already what is already happening. Corporate banks are not always easy to partner, but they were open to actually come on board and be innovative and dare to actually join the partner. So that's number one. And Nguvu has mentioned one of the examples of a strong partnership that has been going on for a while in the ecosystem. Innovation Week started off as just a simple activity. Now, rallying everybody together, we made it big and in partnership with everyone who has been involved. So that's one other example. But also the partnership between even corporate themselves. Vodacom with Huawei for the third quarter of Vodacom Accelerator, I think something we can actually emulate. And we're actually seeing other examples. So probably the call is, let's make it big, let's synchronize, let's share information, and let's help build the startup ecosystem in Tanzania for the benefit of our country. So with that, thank you very much, Kels, for giving us time. Asanteni sana, and have a good afternoon.
May I please ask you right to the front of the stage for a group photo? May I ask the different photographers in the room to prep and take a photo? Is this a happen? A hand of applause to the panel, ladies and gentlemen. Kwa wote wanaotufuatilia mubashara kwenye kurasa za Mwananchi Digital pale Instagram, tunaomba mtuwie radhi, kulikuwa kuna changamoto kidogo ya sauti. Kuna kipindi mlishindwa kupata matangazo, mlishindwa kutusikiliza wakati wa ile panel. Naomba niwajulishe kwamba
Kama ulikuwa pale kwenye Instagram live na ulishindwa kutusikiliza au kutusikia, unaweza kwenda kwenye kurasa za Mwananchi Digital ambazo zipo YouTube na kupata kusikiliza yale mazungumzo yalikuwa yanaendelea kwenye kile kipindi ambacho tulipata shida kidogo za kimtandao. Tunawaomba mtuwie radhi. To everybody who joined us on Mwananchi Digital's Instagram page, we do recognize that you had a challenge with the audio and we were not transmitting. So to everybody, we just want to apologize for that inconvenience. But if you were following the broadcast on Mwananchi Digital's Instagram page, I'd just like to let you know, good news, everything that we were live streaming is also available on Mwananchi Digital's YouTube page. So you can go and have a listen there and you'd be able to follow the conversation that was had. We are also live on FUNGUO's YouTube page, so you can still follow the conversation that was had. When we are faced with challenges, we look for solutions and we navigate. So thank you for, staying tuned even in the midst of those challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a great panel. I won't even attempt to summarize. But at the end of the day, the thing that we're hearing about the most is collaboration, collaboration, collaboration. Collaboration, collaboration, collaboration. And I like to just insist, we've got 5.5 years to accomplishment of SDGs 2030, but at the same time, we are at the cusp of Vision 2025, Vision Tanzania, 2025 for Tanzania, but also we have the AU Agenda 2063, and all these collective goals, what they call for is one thing: collaboration. We either think differently about innovating and working together, or we get deemed obsolete. We get replaced, we become irrelevant. And collaboration is the buzzword. So as we have been upgraded with this call, we also have to upgrade our thinking about how we do business. Business as usual is gone. It is the time for business unusual. Also a reminder, you have the QR code on your tables. You'll get more information about the call, but we will also make that information available to everybody joining us online. And I do know you are asking questions. You can have information about the call and a lot more information about what has been discussed here, how to apply and so forth on FUNGUO's page on Instagram as well as on Mwananchi Digital's page. Ladies and gentlemen, after saying all of that, I'd like to remind you, for every photo that you're taking, for every comment that you're pasting, any bit of information you're sharing, remember your hashtag is FUNGUO IMBEJU call. Your hashtag is upgraded. FUNGUO IMBEJU call, upgraded. And with that, I'd like you to join me in inviting to the stage Director of Center for Development and Transfer of Technology at COSTECH, Commission for Science and Technology, for closing remarks this morning. Karibu sana, makofi kwake tafadhali, Dr. Athmani Ngumia.
Hello. Na wasalimu kwa jina la Muungano wa Tanzania. Dear participant, honorable guest, as I have been introduced, my name is Athmani Ngumia, working with the Commission of Science and Technology in the Department of Innovation as a director. I think I'm asked to say a few words as a closing remarks. And as speaking from the government side, I think we have all appreciated the way we see how the innovation ecosystem is growing. I think as a government, we've been working with all the partners and actors in innovation, and we have all been part in the process of the growth of the innovation, and specifically the financing ecosystem. We as a government, we have a fund to support innovation and research, and since 2011, I think 2019, we have started supporting innovation. Previously, we were supporting research, but since 2018, we have started to support innovation, and we have seen how the importance of the partnership and the importance of the collaboration, both as government and private, it has been very, very, very important and instrumental in supporting the innovators to make sure that they achieved what they are intending to achieve. And we have also appreciated the partnership in terms of the value chain of the innovation, from the seed funding up to the investments. And today we have also appreciated ourselves from the few examples we have seen here, how they've been managed to use the opportunity of the partnership from the government and private to see how they've been able to achieve what they've achieved, especially the startups. So we appreciate and we thank so much all the actors who have been actively participated in the ecosystem to make sure that the startup ecosystem is growing in the country. Thank you so much. And so we as government, since when there was a change from the Millennium Goal to Sustainable Development Goals, I think in 2015, we have been very, very keen to make sure that we establish the more conducive environment to make sure that the innovators, they can perform their work, their function properly, but also the conducive environment for the partnership between government and between the government and private, but also between the private themselves. And we as government, we are very much keen to make sure that we become part of it. And whenever there is strategic partnership, it needs government participation. We are quite very ready to make sure that we work together to make sure that at least we support the innovators and the startups to achieve their advancement. So for that few words, I would like to say that we have, in the government side, we are very much committed to support the initiatives, both from private and also from government, and we are ready to be part of any partnership and all collaboration to make sure that at least we support the innovators and to make sure that we achieve what we can achieve. But maybe what I can also advise is to make sure that we have a very important ecosystem, which is the knowledge ecosystem, which is a source of knowledge. The universities and the higher learning institution and the research institution, they are also a very key part of the ecosystem because that's where the knowledge is. So my urge is that whenever you are trying to do, make sure that you at least we have an opportunity to interact with this ecosystem to make sure that we tap the knowledge generated from the source of the research institution, the higher learning institution, to make sure that it is properly utilized by the startup to upgrade their technologies, which I think is to be very important. So with that few words, I will say thank you very much, and you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mgumia. We have heard another call for the importance of innovating just proactively. And with that, I'd like to bring to the stage for a vote of thanks somebody who is going to represent, just bring everything together as we round off. I'd just like, even before he comes on stage, to remind us all and to remind everybody who's also following online, today we launched a joint call between UNDP's FUNGUO program and CRDB Foundation's iMBEJU program, all supported very strongly by, of course, the government of the United Republic of Tanzania, the European Union, UNCDF, UK Aid FCDO, as well as, so as we're rounding off, we're going to get to hear a vote of thanks from the head of economics team, British High Commission. A hand of applause to Mr. Richard Craig. Makofi kwake tafadhali.
I would like to start by recognizing UNDP Tanzania Deputy Resident Representative, the European delegation to Tanzania, the Managing Director of CRDB Bank Foundation, and the Director General Tanzania ICT Commission, distinguished guests, innovators, ladies and gentlemen, habari za mchana. My name is Richard Craig, and I'm head of the economic section of the British High Commission. I'm very happy to represent the UK government today at this important and inspiring event. I stand here to give the vote of thanks. I will try to be very brief with my remarks to allow for more time to network. On behalf of the UK, I wish to congratulate the government of Tanzania for the progress being made in supporting startups and innovative small and medium-sized enterprises. Many fantastic examples that we've heard about today. These are an essential part of the ecosystem that drive inclusive economic growth. And all these have the potential to create quality jobs and come up with innovative solutions to tackle several development challenges. And for over 10 years now, the UK is very happy to have been a partner of innovation in Tanzania, which began with the former UK aid-funded Human Development Innovation Programme that evolved into the now FUNGUO Innovation Programme. This is part of the UK's broader economic partnership with the government of Tanzania, set out in our Mutual Prosperity Partnership that includes private sector, climate and economic development work. Supporting innovation and unlocking finance are cornerstones of our approach, and FUNGUO is an excellent example of this. So I would like to thank, firstly, the continued efforts of fellow development partners, the EU, UNDP and UNCDF. This is a strong partnership and remains important if we want to see change in the innovation and startups ecosystem. To the CRDB Bank Foundation, thank you for partnering. We look forward to seeing more private sector engagement in the future. I would also like to congratulate the FUNGUO team for always bringing us all together and for the amazing work you do. We appreciate and value this. Lastly, and most important, I would like to wish all the best to the startups, and I hope today's event will energize you further. It's a great opportunity to access seed capital, networks, and future funding opportunities. Thank you, and all the best. Asanteni sana.
Thank you so much, Mr. Craig. Makofi kwake tafadhali kwa mara nyingine tena. Mabibi na mabwana, wote ambao mko hapa kwenye venue yetu, everybody who is live at Johari Rotana and online, we have officially come to the end of our event today, the joint call for FUNGUO program as well as iMBEJU program 2024. All information available on the FUNGUO programs pages as well as iMBEJU programs pages on how you can go about applying. As we've heard, the call will be live for one entire month, and in between there will be instances or sessions where information is going to be shared. There's going to be info sessions virtually, and I do believe we're going to have info sessions in different parts of the country as well. For everybody who is here, again, please, as you are interacting outside, as you're having conversations, as you're taking your photos, make sure that you share that content on social media. Let's keep the conversation trending for an entire month, right? Hashtag FUNGUO iMBEJU call, hashtag upgraded. And I'd like to also ask within the room, I believe everybody has gotten a coupon for lunch. If you haven't gotten a coupon, please raise your hand so we make sure that we get it to you. Okay, there's somebody here on the table, Mr. Msechu, as well as the table at the back. May I have the team having a look? There are two people who do not have coupons right here, as well as at the table in the back. Anybody else? No, we all have coupons. Anybody else who doesn't have a coupon? Right here at the front, Dr. Mgumia doesn't have a coupon as well. We just want to make sure that you don't get hustled when you head over. All right, and of course, at the back. All right, everybody who
who I believe everybody has gotten a coupon already. Great. So then, another reminder, QR code on your table. There's information there about the call. You'll also be able to get, to even understand if you want to read or go through what Ms. Mbwaike and also Ms. Nsule shared when they're giving information about the call. You also have that throughout that QR code. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're ready. We're going to have to do one final thing, because if we don't do this, the event did not happen. We're going to have to take a photo. Deputy Resident Representative, with your permission, I'm going to ask us to do a very special task before we head out, if that's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, naomba tusimame. May I please ask you to your feet? And then I'm going to then ask you to come to the stage. I'm going to ask for the high table to come onto the stage, and everybody else, we can see how we can manage, but we are enough to literally fill the stage. Let's try to take a group photo. Is that okay? Let's try to take a group photo. Let's come to the front. DJ, tusindikize na kamziki kidogo ambacho kinawezekana. Let's come. May I ask the high table to the stage, Mr. Craig? Welcome to the stage. Sir, welcome to the stage. Karibuni sana. To everybody else, please come. Let's fill this place right here. Mr. Msechu on the stage. Miss Jocelyn to the stage. Janet to the stage. Tafadhali. All right, everybody else, to all the panelists, just the panelists, may I ask you on the stage, everybody else, let's situate ourselves right here. To everybody else, may we please situate ourselves right here. Karibuni sana. Miss Krupa Patel, may I please ask you to the stage. Mr. Nguvu, you're already here. Wonderful. Okay, come on, let's do this. And of course, we're going to prepare to say together, when I say Funguo Innovation Call, we are all collectively going to say upgraded. Miss Nsule, of course, onto the stage. Mr. Mbwaike, onto the stage. Miss Agnes, onto the stage. Wonderful. There we go. Now, we'll have to get very innovative about how we take this photo here. Some people, especially those who are tall going downwards, will stand at the front. The ones tall going upwards will come to the back. Let's move in the middle. It's the innovation ecosystem is vibrant, it's live. Come on, some of us can literally crouch down. Let's do this. Let's make a joint photo. Let's get together. Let's huddle in. Unless ulipotoka nyumbani ukaambiwa mtu asikushike. All right, let's move in a little bit more. There's space on this side here. Miss Krupa Patel, we cannot start taking this photo without you coming onto the stage right here. All right. So there we go. To the media team, is this good? Do you need something different? Can you see everybody? We should move in. Let's get cozy. We've talked about collaboration, the space back here. Again, tall going downwards at the front, tall going upwards at the back. There are no short people in this planet. Tunakataa kabisa uwepo wa ufupi. Hatutaki kuitwa hivyo vitu. Aha. All right. Is it much better? Should we put on the lights? More light? We're good? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to say, Funguo Innovation Call, and you're going to say? Okay, that was terrible. Let's try again. We're going to say Funguo Innovation Call, and you're going to say? Okay, but we're going to upgrade that. That is terrible. That's like a different version. That's up. All right. Funguo Innovation Call. Funguo Innovation Call. Okay, so we're going to try that, and of course we have to take a selfie, because in this day and age, without a selfie, we have done nothing. The event did not happen. All right, we're ready? All right. So we have to do a rehearsal first. but I believe we can get it on the first round. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3. Funguo iMBEJU call! Funguo iMBEJU call! Funguo iMBEJU call! Woo! Wonderful, ladies and gentlemen, and that brings us to the end of our event. Lunch is available on the first floor. Lunch is available on the first floor. Make sure you take your coupon with you. Once more, the hashtags are Funguo iMBEJU call, hashtag upgraded. Make sure you join the Funguo or you follow Funguo page on Instagram as well as iMBEJU page on Instagram for more information. My name is Khalila Mboy and I was your host for today. Congratulations and see you on the other side.